Good night. Good night. Good night. Oh my goodness. Karibu Sana. This is the Marcia Week show, and we are excited. And let me just tell the truth. I am excited. I am excited to be on tonight. I am back in Barbados. I am in Barbados, and I am excited to be home. I'm home. That was home too. That was home. That's where we're from. But I'm excited to be in Barbados, Caribou. That's me speaking a little Swahili, acting like I know a whole lot. I don't just know a few words, but Caribou means welcome in Swahili. Sana, thank you. So, and Asante, well, means very much really. Asante Sana means thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who is here tonight, and I can feel the love. I can feel the love. I tell you, I want to thank you all so much. And before I go any further, there is a man called Dr. Ferdinand Nichols. Oh my goodness. Oh Lordy, Dr. Ferdy. That's what we affectionately call him. Dr. Ferdy, you are a trooper. You are a trooper. You understand the call, sir. And I am so happy that we have a team that, you know what, this is, yes, it's a Marcia Week show, but do you realize that we only missed one show in my absence out of 12? There were 12 shows done. Dr. Ferdinand can correct me. Either 12 or 13 shows, and we only missed one. And I wasn't on any of those shows. And that is what you call teamwork. Yes, Dr. Ferdinand. Amazing. You're an amazing host. Thank you so very much. Glenn Murray. That young man, Glenn Murray. I'm so honored, right? I was helping them to make up the show one of the night, just to type it up in the initial stages, and I was writing up the names, their credentials, and I'm like, former senator, former minister of government. I mean, on the Marcia Week show, producing and hosting Glenn Murray and Maxine McLean. Miss McLean, oh my goodness. Listen, we have the best team in the whole wide world, right here, who love the people. There's a real, genuine love for the people of Barbados. And that's awesome. And that's what I wanted us to be able to carry on the show, even though I was getting some rest, that the show will be able to go on, because things are still happening in the country. And we had our young people. Yes, Janine Butcher, oh goodness, awesome job, Janine, and of course Shaquani Hunt. Thank you all so very much, and all our wonderful hosts. I mean guests that we had on the show. Mr. Ralph Thorne, thank you so much for being on, and we had Paula and more, who's going to trying to be on with us again on Sunday. She was amazing, and all of the guests that came on. I can't call all the names, but from Trinidad, Umar. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, from Trinidad. Those who were on from Guyana, from the U.S. Oh boy, listen, and of course, I want to call on some names tonight. Noah. Hi, Noah. And I want to get back to that comment that you have there. Teroni Hall. Teroni, let me know, Teroni, if I can mention the person who's in the hospital. Yeah. Um, I want to please, Teroni, message me and let me know if I can do that. Okay. Yes, Michael Jilks, good evening. Matt Boland, it's good to see you. Loyal daughter. Oh my goodness, loyal daughter. I know you messaged me and I have to message you back, right? Give me a moment. Mildred Ben, good evening. Dr. Ferdinand Nichols, you should be on here with me tonight. You know, you're going to bring the fire. Cecilia Miller, Nat Grant. Oh, Cecilia. Yes, Cecilia, you've been in my prayers, and I trust that all is well with you and the family. God bless you, Cecilia. Nat Grant, Marcia, good evening. Good evening, Marcia. Oh, my goodness. Owen Hines, Jacqueline Allen. Oh, it's good to see everybody. Joy and Faith. Oh, Lord. Marcia again. Oh, thank you, Dr. Ferdinand. And thank you for, I mean, everybody been telling me, Dr. Ferdinand has been bringing the fire, they tell me. Oh, my goodness. Dale Worrell, good evening, Dale. Good evening. Monica Inns. Beverly Prescott, how are you? Mystic Angel. Sir Alfred Benjamin, all the way from Brooklyn. Oh, my goodness. Angela Burke, Hasbra. Oh my goodness. Bajan intellectual Sharon Innes. Lord, I miss you all. Oh, I miss you all so much. I really do. I really do. Michelle. Brantley Griffith. M. Gardner. Leanna Camilla, so you doing? Marie Watson, Gilbert Perry, please bear with me. I gotta call up my people's name. It's 3 weeks, you all. You believe that? 321 days. I missed, I think it's 12 shows I miss. Oh my God. ADG. Oh, Easy D, did you collect your cup yet? Hi, Easy D. ADG, good night. Good night. Oh, thank you all just letting me. Um, you're right, VR. You're right. Remy. Oh my goodness. Loyal opposition. You know, we need to meet up. We need to meet up, you all. And guys, oh my Lord, Queen K, how you doing? How you doing? Yes, I feel rested. I feel energized. I feel ready to go. I ready Barbados. I ready. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready for the righteous revolution. Yeah? You ready for the righteous revolution? Yes. I'm ready for the righteous revolution, not by might nor by power, but by the Spirit of the Lord. Loyal daughter 66. Let me hear it. Let me hear the loyal opposition. You ready for the righteous revolution in Barbados? Huh? Where all injustices, anything, all the injustice, anything that is unjust, we are going to deal with it. We're going to call for justice in this country. Yes? All the pot of corruption ready to turn over. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody ready? If you're ready for the righteous revolution, yes, yes, yes. Cherry Perry, Cherry Berry. I miss you too. I miss you too, Nina. You ready for the righteous revolution? You ready for the righteous revolution? Loyal opposition. Let me tell you, there's so many things that we were able together as a community to accomplish last year. But this is a new year. Yes? And I know you've been hearing it from Dr. Ferdinand and Maxine McLean and Glenn Murray, Shaquani Hunt, and my girl Janine Butcher. Yeah? And we're ready for this righteous revolution. So I am stirred up. I am stirred up. Listen, prayers up. Prayers up. Listen, this is a time, you get up early, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, because listen, this is a righteous revolution that we're involved in, and we are fighting for our country, for the soul of our country. You understand? So we ready, we in prayer mode. We ready to turn over this thing, this cup of this whole pot of corruption. You get me? We're ready to turn it over. Yes, 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 yes. All the tentacles, all the things that are tied up together. Listen, all we're gonna hear click, 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 and they're just gonna listen. Everything it's just going to just break open. Yeah, that's what is happening. That is what is happening. That's what's happening in Barbados, and the same thing. Regardless of what you think of Trump, you hear me tell you, there is a revolution that is happening in America. It is a revolution. Whatever you think of him, there is a revolution. There is a change, is what I'm talking about, that has happened in America. And let me tell you, it is coming all the way down here. Get ready, Barbados. So this righteous, it is a righteous revolution, and all we got to do is tap into it. Tap into this righteous revolution. It is happening. Yes, so I see my first guest is trying to get in. Yes, and listen, I'm not here pushing American politics. I am talking about the principle of the whole thing. Okay, so don't get me wrong, because Trump is no perfect individual. You and I know that. If we're going to be honest, I am talking about, yes, a lot of those executive orders that he's signing in place. We are going to benefit big time from a lot of those. Yes? Woo! And it is coming all the way down. And I'm telling you, get ready, Barbados. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I was dealing with, and Vic, you are so right. And yes, let me not forget Kemar Stewart now and Rose Corbin. I was focusing on the moderators and the hosts. Okay, so please understand that. So Rose and Kemar for sure, Rose Corbin for sure, and Kemar Stewart. But in my thanking everybody, I was focusing mainly on the moderators. You understand, like the hosts. But of course, we want to make mention of Rose Corbin and Kemar Stewart. Bless them, bless them, bless them, bless them. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Well, folks, let's go into our national anthem. We're going to go right into the national anthem. Please get ready, get ready. This is what we're marching under this year, you know. We're marching under this year. This is it here, okay? So let's get ready for the playing of the national anthem of Barbados.
Pride
Yes, 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 Barbados. Yes, Barbados. Listen, that's what we march under, and this is our flag. This is our flag. And are you ready for the righteous revolution? This is our flag, and I want us loyal opposition. We're not letting up this year, you know. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready to fight for our nation. We are ready to fight for our heritage. We are ready, Barbados. We are ready. And I have a young man who is ready. He's Mr. Dale Rowe, and I know he's getting ready to come on, and he's going to give me a thumbs up when he is ready. So yeah, as he is getting ready, listen guys, tonight we have such a great lineup for you. We are dealing with some serious times in Barbados, but there it listen to me, it's nothing that we can't manage, you know. It's nothing that we can't manage. This is not bigger than we are. Tonight we're talking solutions. You hear what I tell you? Because we have the solutions. We have it. Yeah. Yeah. So tonight we have Dale Rowe, and he's going to be talking about primary school children, and the fact that, I mean, the you know, principals have called Mr. Rowe in. Mr. Rowe, I know, has been to several primary schools even this week. I am reading in the newspaper that children as young as 7 years old are you know, are taking hard drugs. Molly, Molly. Oh my goodness! And then we want to talk about the DARE program. Huh? We want to talk about the fact that that is missing in the school. So I wanted to tonight, guys. I want us to put our thinking cap on. Those who know to pray, pray. Because listen, we're not going to let this thing take over the country. We're not about to let it take over the country. Yeah, we are going to stand up. So we're going to talk about our police service tonight and the kind of working conditions that the government has our police service working under, and talked about some community empowerment, hoping that Dr. Dawn Marie Armstrong will be able to join us. I know she had a meeting came up, but she's trying her best to join. And we are going to also have some greetings from P.L.O. Lumumba from Kenya, who's a lawyer, an activist, renowned speaker, Pan-Africanist, etc. Okay, so please, 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 guys, I need you to keep sharing solutions. Everybody say solutions. Everybody say solutions. Come on, say solutions. Solutions. We're talking about solutions tonight. We're talking about taking back our country. And that's what Dale Rowe. This is a man on a mission. Dale, good night, Mr. Rowe. How are you?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am fantastic. I'm grateful, Marcia. How are you?
Listen, I'm awesome, and I'm smiling because the last time I saw you, sir, you were on the streets of Washington. What am I talking about? North
Wellington Street,
Street, Nelson Street. Were we in
yeah.
Chapman Lane as well?
Chapman Lane, Orleans, Lightfoot Lane, Sorbers Lane, Greenfield, Wellington Street, Nelson Street.
Yes, and we ended up at Wellington Street, and let me tell you, it was like electricity in the air because this young man is a man on a mission. You hear what I tell you? And the people are responded to you so well. And when I ask you to come on the show tonight, Dale, just so the people understand, I asked you to come on because I have been following the news and following Dr. Ferdinand. I heard him the other night. He had an excellent program, and he was speaking about the level of crime. Would you believe that there are 5 persons, Mr. Rowe, that have been killed already at the start of the year? 5 persons. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
people shut up. I went to the gas station in Curtains, and my son says, "Mom, this is where they had the shootout in broad daylight." I am told, I'm seeing that they had 13. Is it 13 robberies in 14 days?
Yeah, yes, it's true.
This
It's
is
so
what is
true.
happening in this country, Mr. Rowe, Mr. Rowe, Mr. Rowe. What do you have to say to Barbados? What's the plan of action that you have for the people that you are serving in those areas?
All right. So from my research, you guys could Google it. In 2022, we had 48 murders.
Mhm.
In 2023, we had a decline in the murder rate, and that at the ending of the 2023, we had 21 murders.
Mm.
So then we saw the spike in murders last year. So my question for me, right? At the ending of 2023, as a government, if you realize that your murder rate is 21, you saw a significant drop. But then in 2024, June 28th, Barbados would have recorded 21 murders in 6 months in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I deal with numbers. So for me, if you're the governor general, if you're the minister in charge of the state crime prevention, if you're the prime minister, don't care who you are. When you realize that the country has seen 21 murders in 6 months, that should have
Yes.
been alarm because you did
Yes.
21 murders in 1 year. 2023, you did 21 murders. The beginning of 2024, June 28th, Barbados recorded the 21st murder, 21 murders. So for me,
Mm.
that was a bit shocking, and that showed me that the government don't really care or could not really care about the people. Because when you realize in the 6 month and we are higher than last year, you should have put things in place to try to combat this crime, as opposed to just saying, well, we're gonna launch a crime prevention program. All the government saying is launching, launching, launching. Don't be just launching programs, actually going to the streets and actually see the needs. I spoke to principals, and principals would have told me have boys. Example, one student, had an incident with a teacher. He told the teacher he was slap off the wig off his head. And
Excuse
this
me?
and
Hold a
yeah,
minute.
and
You're
this
telling
one
me how old is this? This is a primary school?
primary school, yes.
A primary school. So those who are listening, because I want us to get into that mode of solutions, guys, and get into the mode, Mr. Rowe, to believe that we can do this. We can do it. Now, somebody here is saying, that, oh, murder rates are high all over the world. We are talking about Barbados. Okay, murder rates were high all over the world before. Okay, so let's talk about Barbados. Jamaica was always high and Barbados was low. So something has happened. Okay, and this is where we live. So we have to take authority and take charge of where we live, right, Mr. Rowe? So repeat
Yes,
what
please.
you said. No, primary school children.
Yeah, so the
Guys, stay
boys
with
in the
us. Stay
primary
with us.
schools, the boys
So
in the primary
primary
schools,
school, it's from 6 years old. Remind me, 6 years old to 11.
yes.
And a primary school child is telling the principal, according to what
No,
you're
the
saying,
teacher. It's
telling
telling the teacher,
the teacher that he was slapped the wig off of her head.
yeah, or slap off the hair, something so. So, I spoke with with different principals, and the principals, they are saying, well, they need male figures to help the young boys because they are seeing a lot of challenges in these schools in the small ages.
Primary school. So we're staying on
Primary school.
primary school. So how many primary schools did you visit last week or
I
this week?
visited,
This week?
yeah, so yesterday, three primary schools, and day before, visit one. So four primary schools in total.
Four primary schools that you have visited in this time. Do you care to tell us the name of these primary schools?
All four primary schools from in the city: St. Ambrose, Wesley Hall, Westbury, St. Mary's.
Okay, St. Mary's and okay. All right, no problem. Now, in a primary school, do you have any idea of the number of children in a primary school on an average?
So some primary schools have like 113, some have 200, some have 300, all depending on the size of the school.
Right. So probably okay, depending on the size. So probably about say we could say probably 3 to 350
Yes,
thereabout. Yeah, because in terms of maximum, if anybody knows any other information, you can. I know that some of the secondary schools can go up to 800 students, but I know the primary school, because we have quite a number of them, that they are smaller. And this the reason I'm asking about the number, Mr. Rowe, is that I want us Barbadians, as we're listening tonight, that we begin to believe that this is manageable. We can do this. You understand what I'm saying? You're a man of numbers, and I like numbers. So let's begin to imagine what we can actually do. Right. So continue. Talk to us about these four schools that you visited this week.
yeah,
Primary school.
and so with the interaction with the principals, the concern is the lack of male figures in a lot of the children lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
One of the primary schools would have said to me, they have a homework program, and this homework program, they have persons coming in to help the students. So
Yes.
I said, well, because I was telling the principal I am interested in coming into the schools, myself and other persons, to do such work, help with homework, help with reading, math. There's a long list things that we're gonna do in the primary schools. However, when I was speaking to the one principal, the principal indicated to me that they already have persons that are willing to help these students. But what they realize that the students are not coming out to the aftercare program that is offered from the school. They say, they from the observation is that the parents are not enforcing that. You know what, Michael, if you're going to school, you need some lessons, go and get the extra lessons. It's for free. So the
Yes.
parents are not encouraging the children to go to the same aftercare programs. So in the upcoming weeks, I would be in the schools. I would be talking to the students and encouraging them, to read, because also reading. The principal said that the literacy level in terms of reading and such is really bad, and it's concerning for the principals. The principals and the teachers of these schools, they are doing so much to help these
Mm.
students. They have put so much in place to help these students.
So,
And
so
yes, please.
before you go, just I mean, I just want to really commend you as a male to see, because that you would be visiting schools in 1 week. I want to really, really commend you on that, because this is not something that we see a lot of our male figures, doing in the society, and we need more of that. Now, I want us to pause a little bit though, because you're saying a whole lot, and I want us to hear. I want us to listen. Please don't let us not get into the blaming. Right? Everything is not the government. All right. So
Correct.
so
So
everything is not the
it's
government.
not correct.
I want, if we're going to really deal with this situation here, everything is, there's some things in terms of policies, and we're going to make those things clear. But there are some other things. There's something here that you said that, no, I know St. Ambrose Church, which is right there on near Wellington Street, right? I'm correct.
Yes.
A wonderful church. I visited there when we were going to do the solemn walk, met the priest, and they care about the people in the community. I saw them bring in a lot of the children, to the service to be blessed and so on. And so I'm happy to know that there's a practical part to what St. Ambrose is actually doing in terms of the homework program and reading program and so on. But did you all hear what they're saying, what St. Ambrose is saying through the principals? that it is the parents. It is the parents that's not sending the children to the homework program. The question is, what does that have to do? What that has nothing to do with the MP. That has nothing to do with the government. Here it is, there's a social institution that is seeking to do something in the community. And the parents, I'm going to blame not just the parents, there, the
Correct.
aunties, the
Yes.
uncles, the
Yep.
grandparents, and some of you are right here on this program. You are parents, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents. What are we doing?
Correct.
Churches. St. Ambrose is a church, and the church is responding. Tonight is about solutions. Tonight is about us as a people before this thing take a hold of us in this and destroy this country. Right? So I just wanted to pause, Dale, for that to sink in, because we're saying so much, right? And I want those that are listening, Dale, to think about how can you help the school that is close to you. You live in a community, there must be a school, Dale, that is close. You're hearing
Yes.
their literacy problems. Children can't read, children can't write properly, they can't count properly. What is your response? Is your response asking what the government is doing? Continue, Dale.
Yes. I watched a YouTube video from this guy, Chris Muslis,
Yes.
and I saw boys gambling, loads of money. Um,
About what
for
age
me,
group? What's the age group?
I cannot. I don't want to say a 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, or 13 because I am not sure. But when I watched the video on YouTube, I saw young boys gambling. So that indicates to me that that is the only source of income in that house, or
Mm-hmm.
that is what that child is exposed to in that house. So
Mm.
when those children go into the school system, they would not see the need for education.
Mm-hmm.
So education is a serious important role,
Yeah.
and we need to empower the young people to get educated.
Mm, mm. And right now you're saying that because they're gambling, then they don't believe that, education, they need it. And I was saying that to somebody today that it seems to me that they're not interested in doing well at common entrance. That's not attractive to them anymore. Do get to a good school so you can get good CXC grades. The grades don't mean nothing to these children. Somebody's saying that they were primary school age children that they were in the video gambling.
Yeah, yeah. And when I say education, I do not only mean math and English. I want we to think bigger. I want we to think different. Farming, barbering, electrical installation, plumbing, different things. We need to empower these young people and show these young people, well, hey, this is what you should do. I recommend this, and I give the young people an opportunity. Encourage the young people. Not this one, Marcia. There's one that is from the city.
I see. Thank
Yeah,
you. We will try to.
this is a good one. This is a good one.
Okay, so the one from the city. Okay, we will put it. We'll find it. Yes. Yes. Continue what you were saying. Continue, please.
Yeah. So for myself and the team, our program, our movement, the movement is called MAD, and that is making a difference.
Wow.
So so the reason why I use the term MAD, because everybody mad, upset, and frustrated with the current situations in life. So I want to change that, and we're gonna make a difference. So we're gonna go into the primary schools and also the secondary schools every week, and we're gonna have a mentorship program We're going to be bringing in all kinds of people, plumbers. We're bringing in masons. We're bringing in carpenters. We're bringing in lawyers, doctors, and persons that went to prison and now have good jobs and trying to change their life. So we're going to bring in all kinds of people into the school to help the young people to understand, well, you know what you see and hear in music, what you hear in the music, those guys that sing these songs do not actually live this lifestyle.
Yes. But
But the young people are
Dale,
heavily influenced.
Dale, you're looking at this video here, and I think what you're saying there about doing the mentorship program and so on, and all the things that you plan to do in the city. Now, I know that I remember being with you on Christmas Day as you were walking through this community, and I could see several times you wanted to cry. I saw it. I moved away from you, but because as a man, I didn't want you to feel. But I saw that you were touched, and these things touch me as well. But here you are looking at these young men here. Dale, do you see yourself in them at that age? Can you see
Yes,
your
100. At that
describe
age, I see myself there at that age. I had no fear of
okay, you're dragging. The internet is playing the fool. Okay,
my first
can we
outside
hear
with the
you?
older guys on the block.
Okay, they say
Can
they
you hear me
can't
now?
hear. They can't hear you. Okay, let's try that
They
again.
can hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you now. But yes, we are having some problems with the internet. So tell me, these children look like about 10, 11 years old. Okay, 12 the most.
Yes.
At 12 the most. This is the one here. Don't look like 12. They dress older, but I think they're younger. So that's probably between 10 and 11. So wh- talk to me about your 10, 11-year-old self. What is it that you see in this picture here that reminds you of yourself at that age?
Uh, at that age, at 11, when I was at school, I used to sell lollipops. And we used to gamble in the stairwell. The reason why I sold lollipops and gamble in the stairwell at 11 because no no school money, and I know my mom didn't have any money. So at that age, you try to make money to bring home to help. So I
Mm,
understand what these youngsters doing. These little boys outside just gambling because they want money. These little boys gambling and doing this stuff because there's no breadwinner in the house. The father is in jail, the father is dead, or the father is not involved because that father is not gainfully employed.
mm, mm. So you're saying, you looking at this, you understand, because not everybody would watch this video and come away with the same analysis. So it is that you're saying that you understand what you're seeing here. You understand these young children, and you believe that you have some kind of answer for them. And what would you do for these young people?
All right, so I can ask a real question. When we look at young people like that, and we see young people, we expel them out of school, we neglect them in the community. All the young people want is love. How are we as a people showing love to these young people? How are we as a people embracing the young people? So then the young people don't have a positive influence. The school don't want them. Kick them out at 15 because they
Uh-huh.
get in trouble. So the school don't want you. Your mother is not functioning mentally. She don't want you. All she telling you is bare bad things like your father. You can end up like your father. Blah 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 blah. These young boys look to the older guys for some sense of want and need. They look up to these guys because they want a male figure. So that's why. So then now, when you see the bosses on the block and these little boys gravitate to the bosses, the only body that speak to these young boys is the bosses. The only body, because at 15, when you're expelled out of school, you're
Yes.
expelled out of school. You cannot get employment in Barbados. One. So where are you going to get money from? You can't get into polytechnic. You can't get into skills training, or you can't get into BCC. Obviously, because you were expelled, no CXCs. Where are we sending the young people to deal with crime and violence?
Mm, wow. So, but
Because
Dale, as
yes,
you are speaking, and I don't want you to forget that thought, but I want to interject here because I remember you saying that when you were expelled from school, that is actually, you could correct me, but in a previous interview, I remember that it was after you were expelled. You couldn't sell lollipop in school anymore. So then that is where you started to, to
climb on the block.
sell drugs, huh?
Yeah, yeah, because you needed income. Yep,
You
yep, yep.
need
I did told you
income.
that you needed that income.
Wow. So,
So
folks,
they
stop.
got some young guys,
I
right?
want you to stop. I want you to pause because we are in school too. Here, we are. We want to understand. We want to listen. We want to hear to understand, not to blame. Listen, we don't want to be blaming. We want to be able to listen to understand the problem. All right. So you are saying to us that just like what happened to you when you were expelled from school, you could no longer sell lollipops in school so that you can bring something home to your family. You then turned onto the streets to a life of drugs. And you're saying that these young people, these young children here that we're seeing gambling with wads of money in their hand, that it's not that they're deviant, it is that this is the source of income for them. This is what they know. This is how they're living, right? So the issue is the issue really that we are the expelling of the children, right?
Okay,
Putting them
so
on the streets is that is that really solving any problem? It's solving the issue.
honestly, it's not going to solve the issue. I think if you do expel a child, this is just a suggestion. If you expel the boys for
Yes.
trouble, I think
Mm-hmm.
that when you expel them, you should then transfer them to a facility where then you can focus on them as opposed to just saying, you're expelled. Then no, that responsibility lies on your mom. Your mom that don't have education,
Mm-hmm.
no employment. Your mom is on welfare. Your mom selling rapper and Fanta. Your mom might got a little shop at the side of the house. So you're expelled. What are you going to do? So my from watching this video, you know what I saw? These little boys do not want to commit crime, which is going doing robberies. These boys could be robbing.
Mm-hmm.
These boys could wait to the vans pull up by the main yard, run through the little trap, stick at the van man, take the money, snatch purse, snatch phones. No, these little boys, these boys are not thieving. They're not thieving. They are gambling. So it shows me, it tells me straight. This is the cards they were dealt, and as a result, this is a survival mode. And I don't want to go and rob because if I rob, for sure I can go to jail. So I think the best opportunity I have as a little boy to gamble and carry home the money. It's not right. I am not agreeing that gambling is right, but I'm telling you the statistic, the facts. Because these boys could go and be robbing.
Yeah, yeah. So listen carefully. Dale is suggesting, what do you guys think about this idea? He's saying that if children are expelled, because sometimes the behavior is very deviant in school, and there are rules in school, and so they have to bring the discipline, and they might expel the student. Dale is suggesting that instead of leaving them at home with parents that are themselves deviant, that possibly there could be a special place then program that children who are expelled, that they're put in that program. The question is, does it need to be a program? If you agree with the program, does the program need to be sponsored by government, or could it be private? Could it be a business that does the program? Could it be a church that opens up its doors to receive those children? I want you to think along those lines, and I'm going to read the comments. Think about it. What do you think about the suggestion that Dale is giving, that we have a place, like a place to hold them instead of leaving them at home with dysfunctional parents? Or sometimes they're going to be left at home now with nobody home because the parents are out hustling, trying to make a living at work, right? So if you agree with the suggestion, could a church, a lot of churches are just closed up in the day. A lot of churches, they have a lot, they have bathroom facilities, they have kitchen facilities, they have, but they're closed up. So I'm just thinking, to find solution, and not just to come and just be talking about the problem. So think about that, and let's hear what the loyal opposition is saying about that idea. Continue, please, Dale.
Yeah, so we really need to do a self check as people. The only way we can minimize gun violence, we really have to mentor these young men. We have to work with these young men. We have to give young men an opportunity. And these young men, they don't think they have the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Somebody is saying here. Let me just read. I know you don't have a lot of time with us, but I want us to read some of the comments from the chat. Beverly Prescott is saying, Mr. Rowe, I think other people like yourself that's been there are the right people to work with these children, and I agree. I really really agree with that. But I also want to say to you, Beverly, that it's not just the people who have been there. It's all of us. As we look at this picture with these young boys, and we look at the videos, is it that we're looking at them, we're entertained, or we're looking at them to get disgusted at the children and at the young people? Or do we look at the videos and say, okay, now how can I help to solve this problem? You see what I mean? Because sometimes we are waiting on somebody else to do something. And I love the program that Dr. Ferdinand had the other night with Lucille Baird, where she rolled up her sleeves, Apostle Lucille Baird, and went into the community. And I remember reading about that. And she went into a community, Dale, that she doesn't live in. So Beverly Prescott, I love you, my dear, but I think that it's not just the people like Dale who comes from those kinds of situations, or like myself. It's people who are in the heights and terraces. They need to see you. They need to feel your love. They need to feel an arm around them from you. They need to feel your arms around them. They need to see you come down there for them. And that's the mindset that I want us to begin to have as we are discussing this, to actually think of exactly what is it that we can actually do. But Dale, you were saying something before I started reading that comment.
I lost the train of thought, but
Well,
it was just
let's read what Sue is saying here. Sue Innes, Monique Innes says, yes, an excellent suggestion. The Youth Advance Court can only do so much. The program can be sponsored both privately and government. I think so. I think that we need to stop waiting, Dale, on government. I am sick and tired, because you know what? We're going to die waiting on them. So I want us to begin to think of what we can do as citizens, as civil society, as citizens, as a community, how we can empower ourselves to actually do something about what is happening here. What do you think of Sue's suggestion, Dale?
I totally agree with Sue's suggestion. In addition, I just want to say that right now I have Shaka Henry. Everybody talking about fighting and the violence, but Shaka Henry is a boxer, and he's willing to teach the young boys in the community boxing as a profession for free.
Wow.
So so Shaka will start on Wednesday. In
Wow.
addition to that,
Where is he starting?
so we want to start at one of the schools. We I just waiting confirmation from him, but we don't know which school we're gonna start it at. But Shaka Henry is on board to teach boxing for 30 minutes. We have a barber. He's gonna come in and also teach the young boys barbering.
Before you go on, I'm deliberately slowing you down. Now, Shaka
Not a
Henry
problem.
teaching boxing. Why did you choose boxing?
When I was in youth service, boxing was one of the courses on the agenda. And when I did boxing, it helped me release a lot of any built up anger. So while I was boxing, I managed to start to feel a lot better. I started to feel confident in myself, and I started to feel a sense of, a sense of connection, abundance, a sense of I can contribute to society. So we might associate boxing and martial arts as a fight. But boxing and martial art, those are disciplines. You have to be disciplined. So we need to teach our young people discipline. They have no discipline. There's no discipline in the household, and the schools cannot push discipline how they would like to push discipline, because then you got parents outside the school want to kill teachers. So discipline, I believe, once you commit to boxing, martial arts, track, road tennis, something, I think those young people then gonna feel a need like, yo, I could change my life. I could actually become somebody. I could actually make a fantastic contribution to society. So
Right.
I know for me, my experience, the first time Shaka Henry, when he was in youth service, I had my first boxing match. And I won it. And I was so excited that I won the boxing match. But after that first boxing match, Marcia said, well, boxing ain't for me. Because I didn't want to take nobody cuffing me. So for me, I was like, I am too handsome to be a boxer.
Ah,
So after I won that fight, Shaka wanted to push me in boxing, but I stopped boxing completely because I don't really want to get my face cuffed up, and I don't want that. But I think Shaka Henry. I know Shaka Henry from the time I was a boy, and I think
yes.
Shaka Henry is a fantastic person. He has a good life story also, and what Shaka Henry is doing right now, I think is fantastic. We we
So
we, we
let
can
me
use.
pause here. Let me pause here again, and you tell me when you have to go. But I really want us to make this meaningful tonight. So all of us
Oh,
that's watching tonight, folks, we're hearing Dale telling us his experience in youth service, how they brought a boxer, Shaka Henry, and how it just helped him to with discipline and confidence and so on. And so now he is seeking to do that in one of the schools in the city. You're hearing this suggestion. You're home, you're in your bed, in your car. I don't know where you are listening. How can you help Dale? I want us to be tonight. I want a different approach tonight to this situation here. Everybody that's on here, how can you help Dale? He talked about the reading program. St. Ambrose Church is doing something in the community. How can we help St. Ambrose Church and help Dale and help the principals that are sending the students to St. Ambrose Church? Everything he's talking about tonight. How can you help? In what way? Nobody's asking you to give any money, but all of us can read and we can write and we can spell, right? I can box, but I might be able to probably buy the boxing gear. I think you need gloves and so on, right?
Yeah.
Some of
Yes.
you overseas, you're in the diaspora, you can say, listen, I could go and buy a whole set of stuff in bulk. I can get some boxing gloves in bulk, or the thing that they tie their hands with. I don't know all of it, right? And and I could ship that to Barbados. Do you see what I'm saying there? I want
Yes.
us to be like what the image I have in my head is these little ants that's moving, right? Ants moving. We're gonna find a solution. Everybody on here. I don't want to hear nothing but me and Motley tonight. And I don't want to hear, their time is coming, because there's a program that I want to, their time is coming. The government time is going to come this evening. But right now, let's talk about the citizens. Let's talk about the community empowerment. All right, Dale. So Dale says, he talks about the reading program, and he talks about boxing, literacy, and so on. What else, Dale? Continue.
We need a pastor. You get me? In this program, somebody that could come and you don't even have to be a pastor. We need some spiritual religious person that could come and teach Bible studies. We need the young people to understand the Bible. You get me? That is one.
Bible, why in this time when people are so anti-God and anti-church? Dale, I know you are a reformed person. You are somebody who was in the streets. You've had some charges yourself, and never went to jail, but you had some charges and so on. But you have reformed yourself. But you're not a Christian. You wouldn't consider yourself a Christian, like go to church every Sunday. But why? So why are you suggesting Bible? Somebody listening might say, well, you want to make these children religious. Why you want Bible taught in your program?
Because the word of God helped me. I don't go to church. I can't tell you, well, I go to this church or that church. I visit several churches. However, reading the word of God, it helped. It helped me a lot. I started reading Psalms 27 at the age of 15. And then I move on from Psalms 27 to, Psalms 100, Psalms 141. And then, one of the most, things in the Bible was Corinthians 1:26. So the word in the Bible, you don't have to be a Christian. You just read the Bible. You know, if we could have somebody that could come and do a quote out of the Bible
Mm.
before we start the session. You don't have to come and minister to the young people. I don't want to lose the young people. I would like that. When before we start the program, we can have a quote out of the Bible, a verse
Mm.
or scripture out of the Bible, so that young people then could understand that there's a greater good, is a greater good, and you need to everything in life does work, negative or positive. It's good energy and negative energy. You then have to make up your mind. What do you want with your life? You want negative or you want positive? And I guarantee once we can positively impact the young people, we can then have only a positive result. The young people of today, they are not influenced by positive influencers. They're
Wow.
influenced by guns, drugs, and violence. We gonna sit down on the Marcia Week Show, CBC, all of these other platforms in our communities, in our homes, in our offices, and we're just gonna criticize the young people. Where is the positive influence? We have to come back and compete against the music, all of the dub artists, all of the hip hop artists, and then the young people idolizing those guys. I know
And not,
those guys.
so again, I'm going to interject here. Do we hear what Dale is saying? When Apostle Lucille Baird was on, you can say, oh, she's an apostle, so she's going to say whatever. Dr. Ferdinand, oh, he's a church man. He's going to. Dale is, yes, Dale is reformed. Dale is someone who has decided that, through the help of God, he's going on the right path, and he's going to go back in the community, and he's going to try to help. Yes, as I said, he's had his times right there, had his
Yes, please.
time, had his charges, but Dale is, but he's not a holy roller. He's not a pastor. But you hear he's talking about the significance of the Bible, and of what we came up on. Do you hear that? And I want the churches to listen. And I want to say to the churches in the city, you should be knocking down Dale's door or the school's door. Do you understand me, churches? I'm not blaming you. I'm not being harsh with you tonight. We're reasoning. Right, Dale? We're reasoning. Churches. And when I say churches, I mean members of churches. Do you live near to name the schools again? St. Ambrose Primary School. How many of you live in the city and you say you are a Christian, you like reading the Bible, or it might be some other book that you read. I don't know. I don't want to get into religion, but I'm just saying it is important. Faith is important. How can you impact these children? Don't point on the pastor now. I'm talking about you. You. I'm talking about me. Me, Marcia. You. What can you do? Listen to what Dale is asking. I want you to think about it, because we love to blame. Tonight, we're talking about doing. We volunteered. We empowered, man, which is a righteous revolution. Yes? So I want the churches if you're listening and you're from a church, don't feel that you're no longer needed. Sometimes society makes church people feel that way, Yeah. Or people of faith feel that, they're no longer needed. But did you hear what Dale is saying to you? You are needed. We are needed. And here is Noah that is blaming the churches. Noah, we're not getting in any blame game. Trust me, if we cannot find solutions, this is a waste of time and space. Do you hear me? So Noah, if you know how the churches and how Christians are supposed to behave, or people of faith are to behave, well, be that to these young men and stop complaining. Yeah? And Easy D, it's not that the churches need to be called out. It's all of us on here. All of us. Barbados, bear with me there, Dale. Barbados is a way that it is because of me, because of you. Those little boys are doing that you see on the screen. No, it's not their fault. It's us. So we can blame the government all we want. And we can blame the parents of these boys all we want. And we can blame the people like Dale all we want. And we can blame whomever, the churches or whatever. Barbados is the way that it is because of every single one of us. So don't play like you are also, great. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Right? I'm reading
Yeah.
somebody's, yes, so poverty got the blame. So it will say poverty goes away. Let me tell you something. You see poverty? Poverty. I grew up in Poverty Dale. You grew up in Poverty Dale.
Yeah.
But you found a way out, right?
Correct.
Let me stop talking and back to Dale. Back to you, Dale.
Yeah, so every person that could come on board, we don't only have to do it in the city. This movement is not only for the city. I want this movement to be a little wide. Reason being, if we started in the city and we get the right blueprint, we then can implement it in the whole of Barbados to help our young people. If we don't
Wow.
help these ones then will influence these ones that here on this video. If we don't help these ones that are gambling right now, in 10 years from now, these same ones will be influencing the younger ones coming up to gamble, to smoke weed, to bust gun, to live a life of crime. So we, as a people, we need to come together and create solutions.
Loyalty Keynes is saying here, young people have no purpose in life. She's saying, Dale, life has no meaning for them. How then do we help them to work out their purpose? Young people are disconnected from themselves. And I think that is why you want the Bible and you want faith. Expound on that for me, Dale. And let me know when you have to leave.
All right, so a quick example. You see, one motivational quote on the morning goes a long way
Mm,
because if we can have people doing a scripture from the Bible before we start anything, I
mm,
guarantee you, over time, a message will stick.
mm,
The first way to change life, right? We have to change the way we think because poverty is a mindset. Poor is a mindset, is a state of mind. Because if you think poor, you will reflect poor. So one, we have to empower the young people and help them to think different. This is where the Bible will come in. This is then where the reading will come in because 99.9% of these young boys do not know how to fill out an application form. And I can tell
mm,
you this reason being, I was a food and beverage manager. I managed several hotels in this island and I did job fairs. So when I did a job fair, the amount of young people that came with CVs half written, not aligned properly, so a lot of these young people don't even know how to fill out the application. I remember one young guy, I had to help him fill out the application form.
mm, mm. So you're saying you're listen. I see. I mean, you're so correct. I see Simba on here, and Simba. This is you see Simba, Rasimba. You know
Yeah,
Rasimba, a
I
very
know him by
educated,
seeing him.
very conscious man in society and very educated man. He's also an educator. He teaches people math and English and so on. And it's people like Rasimba. You know, we need more persons like Rasimba. This is what I'm saying to people. This whole thing, you got to break down the heights, remove the boundaries between the heights and the terraces. When you think you're talking about young people not knowing how to fill out an application form, right? This is what Rose Corbin, through Elevated, the program that we started here on the Marcia Week show, we have teachers who are retired who are teaching these young people how to fill out forms. They don't know about their, they're not from their community. This is what I'm trying to say to people, because some people are thinking, well, you know what, Dale can do that because Dale was on the streets. Dale knows how to reach them. Listen to me. All man jack, every man jack, all hands on deck is what is needed. All hands on deck. You understand me? And if your faith is Rastafari, I know some of the Christians gonna kill me for that. Your faith, what the point is this: that people need. There's something that is wrong in the country right now. Do you hear me? Something is wrong in the country right now. And everybody listening to me, listen to me. You got to roll up your sleeve and we have to do something in this year. And don't tell me about Jamaica. And don't tell me about Trinidad. Okay? And don't tell me about America. We live in Barbados. And this is just a small little country. And you're going to tell me all of us in here, we can't do something about this? Every day we're going to blame the government. Every day we're going to blame the parents of these children. Every day we're gonna blame the churches. Look in the mirror. Everybody doing something, Dale. Everybody doing something. Dale says he wants this program. This what he's doing here should not just be done in the city. If I do it right here in St. Philip, where I live, you understand? And I decide I'm going to work with a school that is close to me. This thing will be fixed. What do you say, Dale?
I agree 100. 100. You know, the influence that the young people have is the artists, the music. A lot of those artists that sing those violent music, I know those persons personally. And those persons are the most genuine and nicest persons ever. But that is their job, to sing guns and violence. That's the only way that those entertainers make money. But those entertainers ain't running about the streets killing people. The young boys taking it too literal. So if these young boys on the molly drug, what you expect? The reason why these young boys don't go on the molly drugs, right? Because Marcia, these pills selling at $15 and $20 a pill, and when these young boys take it, then they go eat for the rest of the day. These young boys go 24 hours, 48 hours, energetic
Hold a minute.
without
Hold a
eating.
minute. You're going too fast for me. Because I honestly wanted to research the effect of the Molly pill. I don't know if Dave can. I know you have to go, but I want you to talk to me about this Molly that these. Do you all hear what's going on? You all hear Errol Barrow will be rolling over in his grave. Grantley Adams. Do you hear what we are talking about here? Primary school children in Barbados. And I tell you, don't come to me and talk to me about any other country. When I came here, this is not the way this country was. So don't tell me about any other country. I am talking about Barbados right now. I'm talking about the children. We are children of the soil, whether we were born here or are naturalized. You understand? I am talking to us inside of here now. You heard, he's not the only saying that. This is in the newspaper. This is in the, they find the effects of the Molly drug, because it's time we understand what is going on in this country. Understand what is going on. And I keep telling Barbados, it's only a matter of time they're going to come in your house. But you think you in the Heights and Terrace, right? You think you in the Heights and Terrace. Listen to me, this year, we going mad this year. We going mad. When you
Correct.
say
Making
mad,
a difference.
making a difference, mad.
Making
We're
a
going mad
difference.
this
Man.
year. All over this country. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want to read something to the people here, because you got me when you mentioned there about the Molly drug. You get me excited here,
A true
and
story,
immediately.
Marcia. I met a young gentleman 2 years ago. On the morning when he get up, he's like 15. At that time he was 15. And this young guy taking Molly from the first time he get up on the morning. The first thing he's doing is taking the Molly. Some days he done on 3 4 Mollies in one entire day and have not eaten.
All right. A lot of
Be-
us old people don't know what is a Molly. Take it, break it down, because that is the other part of it. And as you think about that, the reason I want to read this day, because people going to come on here and think that you are making these things up. Listen to this. This is the National Council on Substance Abuse on January 15th, 2025. See there? It they write us so. Star come. See there? I know him now make it up. Okay, and this is what it says: alarm over drug use by children. 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 I want stick it into the mind here. Don't gloss over this here for me, please. The National Council on Substance Abuse is worried about the increasing use of narcotics by young children. Deputy manager of the NCSA, Troy Wickham, told Starcom Network News children as young as 7 years old. I'm pausing there for you to understand. You have a 7-year-old grandchild in your house? You have a 7-year-old grandchild in your Sunday school class? You have a 7-year-old grandchild that lives down the road? Do you know any child who's 7 years old? I want you to keep that in your mind. And then Mr. Rowe is going to tell you the effects of Molly. Okay? Right?
Yeah, you know,
7 years old. They are, the thing says it here. I want them to see themselves. The thing, the Starcom report from Troy Wickham. So don't come and say Dale is telling lies and making think of you. Some of you love to say that. Listen, Troy Wickham, the professional from the National Council of Substance Abuse, says that the little children from 7 years old, they are experimented with substance, including a drug known as a Molly. You hear that? Now, talk to us about Molly. Explain to people what Molly is, something, please.
Yeah, you know, when the teenager, he was telling me about the Molly, he said when he take it on the morning, he don't need to eat. He just drink water and he feel active and energetic. You get me? And when you see a lot of these crimes getting committed, these guys taking 2-3 Mollies before they're gonna kill somebody. These guys drugged up before they're gonna do shootings and robberies.
Jesus.
These guys not doing shootings and robberies in the right state of mind. When you listen to the music, the dancehall and the hip hop music, they're speaking of idolizing Molly. Simba just left a comment about idolizing murder and certain things, but also these guys idolizing Molly in the music.
Hold a minute. So we need to Dave, and you found anything, Dave, on this drug Molly? Because we need, as parents, as grandparents, aunties, uncles, we need to understand what's going on here. So you're saying, they are saying that the 7-year-old children, primary school children, are taking Molly. This is a drug, you're telling me, that goes at $15 to $20 a pill?
Yes.
So, folks, it comes in a pill form. And they take it because when you take the Molly, you don't, why are they taking it? You don't have to eat?
Yeah, they don't eat, you know, they don't have to eat, they feel fully energetic, you know.
Oh, wow, he dropped out. Listen, oh my God. Folks, how you feel about this that going on here tonight? Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, they take it to get hype at 7 years old. So who give him the Molly? Jeez, peace. So this is what it looks like. Lord help us. Lord help us. Father help us. Parents, grandchildren, listen to me. Listen, this is why I tell you, this thing about the crime is not a political thing, you know. If you make it political, we are going to destroy this beloved country. I have been saying that since we were doing the solemn walk in October. This issue in this country, I am saying to us here on the show, I know we talk about a lot of political things. Yes, the government needs to do some things. I agree. And we're going to talk about that at the end, towards the end, before Mr. Rowe goes. But right now, can we just stop blaming everybody else? So it comes in like capsules as well, Mr. Dale, Mr. Rowe?
I am not sure. I only, the other pills that you had up, those are the pills that I saw, you know, the guys having those pills. So like, you know, you can't go and drink a drink with somebody today, because you might go and drink a drink with somebody and they're going to crash up inside a bottle of champagne or a bottle of wine, bottle of rum. So these young people getting hurt. You might be laming with an older guy, You know this older guy on this stuff. You as a female might go with a young female, 17 years old. You might go with a guy or a couple of friends, and somebody drop this money and say that you're a drink. You don't know, hallucinate, hyper, energetic, emotional. 1 minute, it's like an emotional roller coaster. People crying, freaking out. Some people can't control themselves. So
Okay.
these drugs ain't good for nobody, nobody. But this is what's circulating the market. This will flood the market right now.
So this is Somali is flooding and it is selling at 15 to 20. That's like buying a chefette, right? Well, a
Correct.
chefette is a bit more, more than that. So when so let's talk. So when they take the Molly, they don't need, they don't eat,
They don't
right?
eat. They
They
just
don't
drink
need to
water
eat.
and they be going and going and going.
So that means a child who, because somebody's saying where they get the money, but remember we saw them gambling and they have a bowl set of money in their hand. So they have money to buy the Molly. So when they take the Molly, they don't have to eat. And
So
so, yeah.
let me break it down even now. When a child goes home and that parent is on the molly and that parent have 5 pills, that parent took one, that parent is out cold, that child is still up. What you think those children will do? Try and experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So parents have the mollies, children thieving the mollies from the parent, breaking it in half, trying it. Getting influenced by the older guys. You, I popped a molly last night, yeah. So the guys on the block idolizing mollies. You, I popped one last night. I do this, I do that. But then now you got the young people hearing that. Your parent, your father popping the molly, your mom popping the molly, they're out cold. You have access to it. These young people will take it.
So
That's what they see.
you're saying that apart from it does it takes away your appetite, but it also has you feeling hype. So then
Hype, yeah.
yeah, so that's why we're seeing these killings, in the broad daylight, at the gas station, in the bus. I want us to stop and think about what's going on here, guys. Now, I know you have to leave soon, right? You have to leave soon, right, Dale?
Yes.
Dale, before you go, I want to bring this issue here, and I'm bringing it up not to because I have passed when it come on to this crime thing. I am past this government because they don't understand they can't solve a thing. I'm done with them, and so I'm bringing this up because I want us as citizens tonight. I'm very serious, guys. Vibes Cartel is coming here, and I'm seeing tickets going up to thousands of dollars. So I know that a lot of the adults, you got money. You have money. Because if you have money to buy those kind of tickets to Vibes Cartel, you have money, right? So bear that in mind and let me tell you what I'm talking about. I have 3 children there, 3 boys. And when they were going to primary school at Bailey's Primary, hear me out, folks. Each of my boys would come home and they would talk to me about a program called DARE program, right? This is a drug awareness program that's done inside of primary schools. My sons came home with a shirt that said "Dear," and then they would be vying for prizes. Especially my last son, that's very competitive. He wanted to make sure he won and answered all the questions. He told me the name of the police that was coming because it was the classes, the DARE classes were run by police. You know, Dale, that I asked a police yesterday. Well, not even yesterday, when I was going down to Central to book the marches. I saw a police and I said, you look familiar like the police I used to teach my son. And he, we were chatting about the DARE program. He says, but ma'am, the DARE program does not exist anymore. This was last year, like about October or so. I said, what do you mean? You don't have the DARE program in the school, in the primary schools? You know what he told me, Dale? He said, no, there's no funding. See, that's the man there. That's he used to teach my child. This policeman, I can't remember his name. Cobbler? He used to go to Bailey's primary school and taught all of my sons. And not one of them, thanks be to God, so far. Oh God, thank you. They're not perfect, but they're not in any kind of issues, on the streets and so on. I thank God for this policeman. I thank God for Mr. Cobbler. And my question tonight is this: how you going to tell me you're serious about crime? And Molly in the schools, children, primary schools students taking Molly, and you're telling me you have no money to have the DARE program? What is this nonsense I am hearing? What is this nonsense, citizens of Barbados? We have money to spend on everything else. How could we ever be serious about crime? How could we ever care about our children? Molly in the schools. And you're telling me you don't have enough money to run the DARE program? Listen, Dale, have you ever heard about this program called DARE?
Yes, this program was in existence when I was at Wesley Hall, and it was a fun. That was one of the programs I used to enjoy going to as a boy. To be very honest, because their program was fun and exciting and educating more so.
Wow. And what did you use to what did they teach you at the DARE program? Talk to us about
Yeah,
the curriculum, what you remembered.
I basically remember, they're speaking about drugs, substance abuse, which is alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, and then they also spoke about violence. You know, self respect. You don't need to resort to violence. So that is all I can remember. But their program, I remember also it was a fun program, and the boys, as they always enjoy going their program.
In fact, I was speaking to a policeman yesterday. I can say that I'm not saying the name of the person, and he was saying that he was trained and he's ready to go back in the schools, but the program has been abandoned for years now. I was so upset when I heard that, and so I said to him, "How much is it to get the program in the schools?" I asked him. He says, "Ma'am, I don't know. You have to write to the commissioner of police." And I am telling you, I see Miss McLean there. She gonna help me. We gonna write a letter to the commissioner of police because we need to understand what is the cost of this program. Because if the government won't do it, the citizens will put this program back in the schools. There is no way we're going to talk about we're fighting crime and violence and we have no money to educate the children in the school about drugs and violence. We can't be serious. We cannot be serious. I don't care if the commissioner is a lost cause. We don't want nothing from the commissioner. We don't need no money from the commissioner. I don't care anything about. I hate to put it that way. What I'm trying to say is not that I don't care about the commissioner. I don't care that he's a lost cause. That's not the issue now, Nikite. We have enough businesses in this country. We have enough churches. Let me tell you, churches have enough money. Of course, businesses will have more than churches. Okay? I believe if we adopt a school, a church, or a business close, adopt the school, that's if we're serious. If we're not serious, we're going to sit here and wait on the government to do it. Dale, what are your thoughts about that?
I agree. We cannot wait on the government. We need to start now. If we do not start now, it will only get worse. Example, We have Vibes Cartel coming in April. The young people living in a poverty mindset, a poverty way of living. Poverty is real. What do you think as Barbadians will happen leading up to the Vibes Cartel show?
Robbing, they're gonna come in our house and rob us because they want the $12,000 tickets. That's what's gonna happen, Dale. They're gonna rob. This is not a joke.
Yeah.
And that business must make money and get off scotch-free. Listen to me. That business need to give some money towards their program. The
Correct.
citizens need to tell that business that bringing in Vibes Cartel, give some of that profit to deal with drugs in the primary schools. That's what I want us to do as citizens. They must give some money. This is just I'm serious. This is Dale. I know you have a meeting. You have to run. Oh my gosh! I tell you. I see Miss McLean there. Miss McLean, good night. You have a son as well. And I don't know if your son did the DARE program. Good night, ma'am. I'm sorry. I come
Hi,
back
good night. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
yes, I come back and I am all I know because this area really gets to me. Look at this here. Look at this. Look at this.
$12,000.
Huh?
Twelve
Look at
thousand
this.
dollars on catered $16,000
For
for a
one night?
show.
For one
That's a
night?
show. It says early bird out now. 3Ws 100 Barbados dollars. Courtyard 150 Barbados dollars. VIP
Oh,
350. Ultra VIP was it 800 or something. Suites on catered $12,000. Catered $16,000. So people are prepared to pay for their friends to do that. But as you said, we have this program for our children and young, our youth, which is intended to steer them in the right direction. And you cannot find money to maintain the program, especially at this time where we are seeing young children as young as 16 being charged for murder. And perhaps I think, and this is what I glean from what Dale was saying, that perhaps, and the conversation you two you were having, that perhaps when we see these senseless, mindless killings, these young people are probably hooked on something and high, it is frightening. It is indeed frightening. And you're going to tell me that their lives are not worth the money that you can find. As you were talking, I made a note. I said, within the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, Social Care, or several ministries, you can find either in one or from all of them enough funds to run a good program. And I just Googled it as I was listening to you, and there's an evaluation of the program done. It was done by a former colleague of mine, I think it is Dr. Farley Braffett, who is a consultant sociologist. So we can go back and read that and see what the shortcomings were and what the benefits were. And in fact, compare the situation of our young people then,
Yes.
15 years ago, or 14, because we've now started this year, and see why it is even more important. And as you said, if government is saying that they cannot find the money, because a friend of mine always says when it comes to money, she said, let us start with the wastage first. Cut out some wastage and you're going to find a lot of money. You understand where I'm coming from? And we have seen enough wastage. You have highlighted it on this show, Kimar. We've gone through that for the last year and more. Money can be found for that program. As I listen, you talk about, and something that touched me that Dale said about the youngsters gambling and so on. He said they're doing that not to steal. I heard a couple times that, we have this wild chicken situation in Barbados. Marcia, I was in my yard, where I live, and I heard a commotion. And when I went outside, there were young men, not young men, boys, catching chickens. And I went out and I asked them, I said, but tell me something, what you're going to do with them? And the guy said they want enough eggs, but I smiled because they didn't have any hens in their hands. And the first thing that came to mind is, and I said to them, I hope you're not taking these for cockfights, because that's money too. People gamble on cockfights and these children. But then I also heard that some children catch them to sell to people who would buy them to eat. Now, what is that saying? That their children in need. And so a deviant child may be a child who is living and we've heard, Dale shared his story with us in the past. We know of situations, of children who cannot go to school. Not that they will not go to school, they cannot go to school because they do not have the wherewithal to go to school. So when you have that kind of situation, you're telling me that whatever money you spend is too much, because if you cut the program and if the program had flaws, the thing to do is to revise the program, revise the program, introduce something. But and post-COVID, we have heard about, talk to people in the Ministry of Education, and if they would be frank and upfront, you would hear of the many children who have stopped going to school.
Yeah. Wow.
It is a serious thing, Marcia.
Miss McLean, my thing, I believe that we really need to stop saying that Jamaica has crime, Trinidad has crime, this other place. We don't live in Trinidad, and we don't live in Jamaica.
We have to solve our crime.
We have to solve our own crime. And so we are here, live here in Barbados. And this is a small place. We can do it, Miss McLean. We have the resources to do it. I'm serious about it. We do. Dale and I, we are examples then who would have come out of a situation like that. There are many others in there like that. That we can, if we can, there are others that can't come out, and many people who are on this this show tonight. But the thing is that we don't remember, right? We don't look at the same Vibes Cartel. Before Dale go, I want to make this point here because I know he has a meeting, so I want to let him go. Dale, you've got to come back. Miss McLean,
let me tell you that 9:30, but I can stay till now if you want me to.
Okay. All right, no problem. Right. Listen, the other thing that we do a lot, and I want us to tonight to have a family talk. The other thing that we do a lot, right? We're so hypocritical. All of us. Right? That Vibes Cartel spent how many years in jail? Not
13 years, I can.
13 years in jail, not because they say he slapped a man, not because he stole something, not that one thing is bigger than, but it was over murder. Right? Now, he's now set free and he was acquitted and all of that. I'm not saying whether he did the crime or anything. The point is that this man has a record. You understand? This man went to jail because they accused him. He had a charge,
serious crime,
a serious murder charge, and he's coming to Barbados, Miss McLean, and we are paying $16,000 to see him. Okay,
Marcia,
you have somebody like a Dale. You have Dale here, who had a few little charges. Oh. When you check this young man's when you look at his
history of service,
right?
His history of service,
impeccable. And when you go and you look at his the criminal record, not only because this man never went to jail, And these same people that talk about too much crime in Barbados. Here is somebody reform himself, only has had charges, never been to jail. And you know what happened? We say, we don't want you to serve in this country.
But I can bet you, Marcia, come the night of the Vice Cartel show, you're going to see a lineup of cabinet type people. You can work out what I mean. You know?
Yes, they're going to be there, but then
Yeah,
they're going to be
that's right.
hypocritical. They're going to be
In the streets,
hypocritical.
not on the $300, in the streets.
16,000. We're going to have politicians in the 16,000. But no, he cannot serve because he had a charge. It's only the grace of God why I didn't have a charge, Miss McLean.
So I want to share something, Marcia. So in 2021, I was charged for assault.
Exonerate and whatever, and so on. Certain people qualify to be forgiven and to be, you know, but you know, I really want people to understand. And as you were talking and I was listening earlier, you know what came to my mind? He who feels it knows it. And if we want to help our young people, there are people who grew up with a gold spoon and all the trappings and whatever, and they talk a good game, but at the end of the day, by their actions, they want to park people on the side and let them watch, because at the end of the day, the vast majority of people don't matter. You know, there's this token thing about concern, because we have reached the point in relation to crime in Barbados now that it touches everybody, you know, and so all of a sudden, they're not killing up themselves anymore. They may kill you or me accidentally. They are, I mean, as you were talking, I thought of myself. This time of the year, as you know, I'm a beach goer. The sea gets very rough, and I would walk in my neighborhood. 2 weeks ago, when I was contemplating doing that, I heard of 4 or 5 cases of people being robbed, and some, I believe, at gunpoint in the morning in my neighborhood. On one side, in one direction, you go the other direction, video circulating of a young lady being robbed and screaming on a street that I walk on or drive on, you know. And so when we say that we have to start programs to prevent our young people, and there can be priority for a couple $100,000 a year, perhaps, even if it was a couple $1 million, if it took $10 million to have a program where the police, social workers, volunteers, whether it's the church or NGOs, come together to help our young people understand.
You know,
And that's not that. And then we talk about young people are our future, they are our present, because if we don't shape them now, you know, it's really, you know.
You know, Miss McLean, and this is the thing why I say I sat down and I've been doing a lot of thinking, that asking myself, Marcia, are you serious about this thing? Is this something that you really believe that we can do? You know, are you in, or are you just talking about it? You know, Dale, I stop and I ask myself these questions, you know. And I was thinking, you know, that on this program, Miss McLean, you know, we came up with the elevated
Right.
for life. And as I talked to Dale, and he was saying that in St. Ambrose Church, they do have a program there already. And I'm saying right now on this program, there are over 800, almost 830 people on here tonight. You and I, so 833, including myself and thing, and three of all of us. How many of us are going to say, listen, I'm going to call, I want to be part of this program to help the children to read in the city? How many of you can say that I want to do that? Because, you know, I am tired. I'm tired of just the complaining or just going over the same scenarios. Somebody just got stabbed, somebody killed somebody did. All right, so listen, we're going to take charge. That is what our founding father, Errol Barrow, would want of us. That is it. He's our founding father, right? Right, Dale? That's what he would want. How many of us? I want to see it in the comment section. I don't want to see no government right now. Okay?
You know,
How many?
Marcia, that's so
Yes.
important. I think that is so important because, and you know, we sat down in terms of the Elevate program, and you made a request on the program, and a handful of people came together, and before you know it, within a week or less, a program was fleshed out and eventually rolled out. And
Yes.
and you are so correct. You are so correct because to me, and you know, I've said it to you before. My mantra is, if I'm not part of the solution, I am part of the problem.
Yes. Yeah, I think he dropped out. But
Yeah,
listen
I
to me.
realize that
Listen
they'll
to
seem
me.
to have dropped out.
Listen to me, folks. I'm very, very serious right now. Folks, Jacqueline, Aline, I'm reading the chat. I want those persons, you know yourselves. Can you take notes for me in the chat? Take notes for me. We're like, I keep getting this thing in my head of ants. Let's move tonight. Let's move. You understand, Miss McLean?
The
Let's move.
ancestors have energized you.
Has energized me. Yes. Listen, guys, let's get going tonight. Let's get going. There is a Marcia week. Thank God somebody came in the community. I was doing reading program in my community. You understand? And that's why I will be quick to do things like the elevated program and all the other things that we do in the community. You understand? Folks. Let me hear. Okay, Nikki Tay. Two persons out of 835. Only two persons can read on here and write. Listen, if you might be bedridden and you say, Marcia, I want to help to put together a program, or I want to help with administration. I want to help to make some sandwiches for the children when they come. Come on, folks. We can do this. We can do this. With the elevated program, Miss McLean, that happens. Okay, Dale is here again. With the elevated program that happens, that's run by the loyal opposition, and I don't want to call her name because of her job and so on, but very much overseen by Rose Corbin, right? There are people who they don't go down to the program, but they provide lunch. And I had the privilege of going with her one of the mornings, and I saw that lady. She passed different places, and she picked up some juices, and she picked up some cakes, and she picked up some things, and she took it down to the loyal opposition at the opposition office, because Mr. Thorne has allowed us to use that office. And we went down there, and that's how she was able to feed the people. So there are some people, because of work or because you can't do it. You can't physically can't go, but you can make some sandwiches. You can make some drinks. You can provide, probably books. You might have some books at home. You understand what I'm saying? You can do something. Everybody can do something, because this issue of crime is not a political issue. You cannot. You know what I mean by that. I understand that there are things that the government has to do, but I'm saying that it is the citizens of this country will need to get up and do something. And we're not going to just do the talk shop on here. Miss McLean, I see you
I wanted to say to the 800 and how many viewers, because I would have to minimize my screen to see the numbers, that they also have children. They have children at the university, and there's a faculty of education. That's not the only one they can, but you remember there's a program where students are supposed to have these give back hours.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would say to Rose, to probably touch base with the faculty of education and student service. I mean, I can identify more specifically, but I would also say to the viewers, your children also need to understand that they too have to give back, and there's a structured program to do it. But in addition to that, I think we have to instill in our children and grandchildren and relatives the importance of a community spirit of giving back. And so while a person here may say, I may not be able to do this, I say to you, encourage your students, your children who are students, your relatives, your neighbors, your friends to do this, because it's important. They also would get to develop some very critical kinds of skills, not only skills, but a level of consciousness that they don't live in this world by themselves, you know? And I think that's something that's important. So I would say to Rose and the other organizers, and I, you know, where I sit in terms of the alumni, I can try to identify where that is and encourage people to do that, because I was hearing previously that some students were trying to find ways to get these, you know, to meet the requirement. And this is an important area. You know,
Yes,
I
yes,
really, listen, I have seen enough young people and even older people who haven't been given some assistance in a particular way, were able to overcome major challenges and transform their lives. And that's
yes.
all we're saying to people.
And
We
Dale is
need to
one.
take
And I'm
Dale
one.
is
exactly.
one. Dale is
Go
one.
ahead,
Dale
Dale.
is
You were saying
one.
something.
Dale
I
is
said I
one.
totally agree. I'm one of those.
Okay, my brother.
Yeah, and you know, listen to me. A lawyer, Rasimba here, as I told you, he's an educator, as well. And Rasimba has a program every Monday in his community. Rasimba is Rastafari. You understand? Rasimba so Rasimba, reach out to me and tell me what needs you have for your program in your community. What's the name of the community, Rasimba? Let me know, because what some of these people we can channel your way. Do you understand? We're going to do this. We're doing this as a community. We're doing this because we love Barbados. Do you understand? This is our country. And if we don't do it, who else is going to do it? There's nobody coming to save us. Yeah. So we've got to do this ourselves, right? So please help me, my people, help me to take hold of the chat and let me know. Folks, you know my number, you know the number. I'm gonna put the number in here. Okay. And what we're gonna have to do, Miss McLean, is to do a Zoom meeting with everybody
Okay,
that
that's fine.
wants to work in the work in the community. Okay. WhatsApp your
Colleagues,
information.
colleagues, let me tell you that Marcia, once Marcia gets involved, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on the program.
Oh.
So
I forgot.
let me
I
mute
I know
my
where you are. I know where you are. Yes. 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 Somebody here is saying there was a teacher who took her home on weekends. Yes, a teacher. I got that special thing from a teacher. Yes, yes, Vihoy. And that made a difference. Okay. That made a difference. Her love and mentorship. Yes. And when I was hungry too, and she used to cook. She used to cook and make sure that I get food. And she taught me, Sister Anderson. See, I can still remember her name. You get what I'm saying? So all of this is it's not always about money. Yes, 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 yes. And we if you're at university, we can work out an arrangement for you to be able to get your hours. You can get your give back hours. Okay. So once you come through us, we will work it in such a way that you get your give back hours as a university student. Okay. So you can talk to your children, or you're watching and you go to the university. In fact, that program that we started, Miss McLean, there were two university students, Timon Howard and another young girl, Dominique. I can't remember her last name, but they helped tremendously in the beginning stages and got their give back hours. Okay. So we're looking for you as students as well, but some of you retired too. And all your home, you're crocheting and you're needling and you're going to tea parties and things. Come on. You understand? We need you too. We need
No,
all of you.
that's important. That's important. And I agree with that. Vihoy, it is not always about money, it's about time. It is about caring, because the other thing, Marcia, as we talk about, because you have these programs, but there's also scope for one-on-one, you know, mentoring and so on. And mentoring may simply be talking to a child on the phone. You know, the child may
Correct.
live in St. Philip, you may live in St. Lucie. but there,
Yes.
you connect on the basis of something, and that makes a difference. Explaining to them, you'd be surprised. When I say you, I mean the audience would be surprised at the number of children who don't know certain basic things, and in terms of right and wrong. Because, and I think Dale spoke to that about children going home and seeing drugs because the parent is so high that they didn't put away what they were using. And I think I would have spoken about this sometime in the past. A former rector of St. Mary's Church, when he assumed responsibility for that church, said to me in the first summer, because he came from a rural parish, a rural church, that he was shocked that as priest, he had to find ways to keep some children away, not home, away from home, because of the things that they were exposed to, and so I think people need to understand the seriousness of this, and it is little interventions. I saw the Christmas program deal, and so on, because how look, my son is now 33 years old, but I remember when he went to nursery school, the interview and the principal, a simple thing like, I went to her office and there were about, let's say about 6 children. And I said hi to 1 or 2. And she mouthed the word from behind them, say hello to everyone. Now, because there might be a child there who she knows has some issues. And this woman comes into the room, this parent comes in, and she talks to Mary, Jane, John, and Sue, and didn't say hello to me. Now, I just reached out to the little ones closer to me because I would not know the dynamics of that. I don't know why the children were in her room, in the office at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But little things can make a difference, and I really am happy, Marcia, that you've started the year, your first program after your holiday. This is the first for the year, right? Yes, for the year.
The first one for me, yeah.
Yes, with an initiative like this, because each one teach one, we make a difference, and well, this is your modus operandi. So I'm happy that you're doing this,
Yes.
and Dale
But
is
we
smiling
have
because
to.
he can relate to the
But
work that he's done.
I'm so happy that Dale is come on. He only has 2 more minutes. And Dale, I want to hear, because I know that there's some of them that themselves who, have a whole track record of doing all kinds of evil in this country, and they want you to stop. They want you to stop doing your programs. They want you to live under guilt and shame. They want you to run away in a corner and not give back to society. They basically they want you to disappear, or just as I said, to feel shame for the rest of your life because you had a few charges that you never even went to jail one day of your life. What do you say to well, not even to people like them, but how do you get up in the morning, you have them, you have the Patrick Kings, and you have all these people that are out there spewing out all these things against you. How do you gear up yourself in the morning to get up and go out to 4 schools? And Christmas, you didn't work the entire Christmas. This man, Miss McLean, did not do any insurance work. He's an insurance salesman. The entire December, you know what? He's out getting toys to the children. And he had his entire family out there. He had his wife, and he have his baby mother. And everybody's like,
Talking out your business.
I was in Africa. I was in Kenya, and you meet the wife, first wife and the second wife, and everybody live together. So this is Dale. But anyway, but Dale had
Maturity.
all. Dale had all the children. All of his children were out there, and his baby mothers. But sorry, it's only 2. I'm making it up. And his sister,
family.
his family. It's family. Yeah, no, I'm not joking. It's family. And you know what? Those women were there taking pictures. And I said, if they were angry with Dale, they would not. Dale, you should have seen them behind you taking pictures. They were so proud of you. Your girls were so proud of you. Your boys were so proud of you. Your sister was out there with you. What is it that gets you up in the morning? Or how do you psych yourself up to go face the day, knowing you have like those little people on the side there, like the Patrick Kings and those people, the naked departure, and them that trying to tear down people? How do you prepare yourself?
So I was charged in 2021 because I was hired by a lady to be her property manager. This lady is a wife.
And you don't even
She,
have
she
to go. You don't have to go into a whole lot of detail. Yeah.
no problem. So she was going through a bad divorce. She hired me as a property manager to manage her property. I took over $2,000 in cash to her after collecting the rent from the tenants. Going and take the money. Her husband saw the transaction. A young, handsome boy, and his wife is like 65. His wife is 65, Marcia. At
Listen,
that time, I would have been.
what are you trying to say? I have
I,
a lot of seniors on the show, careful, careful. Anyway.
no, so this guy then said, "Well, were you on my property?" I said, "Well, sir, sorry about that. I only come to drop off money to your wife." And the man said, "Get off my property, it's no problem." And I drove my car out to his driveway. The guy came, followed me, and because his wife was in the front seat, she didn't get out the car. He drove on the main road and he said, "Look, the next time I shoot up on my property, he can this and he can that." He had a license for an RP. I was the property manager for the property. I took the rank to the owner. The husband felt insecure. So I got out my car and said, "Well, sir, if you want, shoot me and kill me, because if you take me, your wife in something, you got sign out. But ain't
You,
me."
you said the wife was 65.
Yeah, the wife
65.
is- the police came. The police came the same day. The police came, Marcia. The police came and said, told the guy that you cannot tell your ex-wife who to bring to the property. This young gentleman is working for your wife. You have no case and no business in telling this woman who to bring or she can't bring. I was not inside of the house. I was outside of the house in the driveway to deliver over $2,000 in cash. This was in COVID, and this was before 7 p.m. Let me say about 5 p.m. So in the night time after 9, you come and see your wife outside in the car with a handsome fella. You saw me after 5 o'clock with $2,000 in cash, and I in a suit. I in a suit. So when the police was talking to him and telling him, you are wrong. You cannot tell your wife not to let this young man bring money for you because this young man works for you. So the husband got vexed. And I was in the background cheering on the police. "You stupid old man, you stupid old man." That was saying in the background. And 3 days later, the husband know the husband have the husband is a very known businessman. He have some police friends. He went and tell them that I threatened him. And the police came, called me and said, "Roa, we want to interview you." Go on up to the police station, Austin's police station. They tell me to charge me for assault. Assault? How? Beat me, the man, in fight. We ain't had, we ain't had no kind of physical contact.
Verbal assault, it sounds like. You call
I,
you
it, it,
stupid.
all I told the
Let me not kind of trivialize the thing.
Listen, you mess with a man 65-year-old wife.
guy,
There
yeah,
for your information, I am over 65 here. Be careful.
so, 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 so then the police charged me for assault. We went to court, the lawyers present all of the facts, witnesses come. The wife even said, but this little man, I mean this boy in nothing, he works for me. Because the wife they're going through a divorce. She owned a property. She has no income, and she reached out to me. I created a contract for her house. I put tenants in her house, and I helped her get on her feet because her husband is not giving her food, water, nor nothing. She has nothing. And this was in 2001. So I was charged for assault.
And
So
that
the
and that.
magistrate,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah, go
please.
ahead.
So
No, no,
all of
what
the
I'm
facts were presented. All of the facts were presented. So I received phone calls, people telling me, I hear you on narcotics charge and this and that. I said, look, I was charged because I carry right money for a woman. I have this fee.
you're breaking up. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Dale.
Yeah, sorry. So I said I went out to help this lady. This is a mature lady. This lady could be my grandmother, you know, or mother to me. And the husband felt insecure. At that time, Marcia,
Not
4 years.
calling your grandmother there.
No, because my mom is. If my mom was alive, she would have been about 46.
At
Okay.
the time, or oh, okay, okay.
Oh boy.
So,
Dale,
so, so yeah,
Dale,
I was
Dale,
charged. I was charged for assault because I helped a woman get on her feet. Because the husband is abusing her or were abusing her. She has
yeah,
no money, and
I
then
don't
I
want to
help
get
her.
it. Yeah.
You don't,
But
I
you
don't
know
know if you
what,
should go
Dale?
into the details and
Dale, we're
sort
gonna
of.
cut it there. But what I'm saying is, it's good that you clear the air. I
Yes.
didn't
But I
even
got a
know what.
question to ask. I got a question to ask the wider public. So people upset that I am the DLP candidate for the city, representing the people in the city. But I got a question to ask. I was a young gentleman and a professional young gentleman, and I was charged wrongfully. So we trying to tell the young people you should not join politics because if you do good, it can be a problem. We are telling the young people that they should stay on the streets, smoke weed, pop mollies, and shoot guns and kill people. Because if the people want to criticize Dale for getting assault charge for helping a lady, what message you want to send it to Barbadian young black boys? I'm 32 years old. You're telling the young people that today that if you get charged, you can't run for politics or you can't
Yeah.
get a job. And for a small, I never beat the man, I never do the man nothing, and I get charged for assault. Well, if the man said that I threatened you, well, I should have get charged for threatening words. I ain't get charged for threatening words. I get charged for assault. And I took over $2,000 in cash. I helped a lady that was in need. So for those that talking idle, please talk some facts. Talk facts. I ain't went out there, Marcia, and I see this man say you, I can beat he boy, cause I put two mollies and I just started beat he back. All I said to this guy, if you don't want me to come back on your property and you threatening me, you could do me saying no broad daylight. And then I get charged for assault. He got a license for an He have
I can't hear him. Can you hear him, Miss McLean?
hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay. Yes. I think. Can you hear me, Dale?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Right. Right. So there's somebody who is a legal mind on here saying assault can be threatening words. You see, so I think it's so important that because we have to understand what drives people. And sometimes, if they believe that you're a formidable candidate, then that's what they're going to do. But I want to say to you tonight, because I've been accused of so many things by some of these same people. The same, my friend there, Patrick King, up to, if it's up to him, I would be gone back to Jamaica a long time ago. And they say all kinds of things about me. But I want to tell you something. Stay focused on what you're doing. I think that the programs that you have in the schools, those are good programs. Keep at it. the boxing, the literacy programs that you're doing, meeting with the parents. I know this week you told me you're going to be meeting with the parents. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being a good father to your children, you know, and be a good family man. Keep doing what you're doing, Dale. Stay focused. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. You keep your focus and keep what you are doing, because what you're doing, it transcends politics. You know, you came off the streets and you're helping, and that's it. That's all that matters. You know, when you look at Malcolm X had a charge. Malcolm X, that's, you know, a lot of these very, very great people that we, you know, they Jay-Z has has a charge. All of these people, you know, they have some kind of criminal record that happened when they were children, they were teenagers, you know, young people. And they come out and do great things. So that's not a big deal. Vibes Cartel, that they're all going to go to his show and dress up and buy $700 shoes and $16,000 tickets. He had a murder charge. Oh, come on. You know, let's get with it, right? Somebody say even Jesus Christ had a charge. You understand? I know of leaders in this country that have beaten, you know, women. You know, they're leaders in this country, you know, that they, you know, lesbian leaders. I know of lesbian politicians in this country that have beaten women and bite them up. And they you know, and I know some of the women that have been beaten up by some leaders who are lesbians in this country, and beaten, break the hand, break the foot. I know them. I know, because sometimes they go to the churches, they find refuge in the church, and leaders can do those kinds of things in this country and get away with it because of who they are. You know, I know of that. And so if that can happen, and if that person is reformed, I don't know if that person is reformed. And I'm not sticking out against lesbians or anything. It's just that you know, those particular people were lesbians. I'm just saying that. But they beat up
Correct.
people, burst up their head, you know, knock out the teeth, drag women down the street with their hair, drag them like, oh, you see a car dragging a woman, they hold a woman and drag her down the street. And these people can still get positions in this country. So I don't understand why somebody you've been charged and never even gone to prison or to jail, why you can serve. That doesn't make any sense. It's hypocrisy, right? So stay focused, right? Stay
Yeah.
focused.
One thing I want to share, right, Marcia, and people that speak negative, don't, because this is bigger than me. This is from the creator. The creator put me here to share my life story, to share my message. And those persons will not stop this message. They will not stop this message, because the message will be sent. The message will get over to those young people, and those lives will be changed. I am not stopping. I am not stopping, and I swear to Almighty Creator, I am not stopping, and I will these young men, and I will help these young people, and I will make that difference. Because you know why? We need
Right. He's uh, mhm.
hello.
Right. We're not hearing you very well. We're not hearing you very well. Sometimes, right? No, it's fine. But do it, Dale, as you are saying, focus. Don't let anybody stop you. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So so you be
The young
encouraged.
people, the young people need a voice, Marcia. I go every day in the country, and the young people crying out. I look, from the time I go, I went there today. And as soon as I got there, and I went to two schools first.
Right. Okay. So you're breaking up. You want to turn off your camera, Dale, and see? Marlon Clark is saying that he went to, he was part of the youth program with you, um, um, Barbados Youth Service 2008 to 2009, and he was part of that. Marlon, give me a call, please. Marlon, write down the number 236 7000 and give me a call. You were with Dale in the program. Give me a call 236 7000. But I know he has a yeah, I know he has something to do. So yes, I know he does have a meeting, but Miss McLean, as we are on this, we're staying on this whole topic of community empowerment, Miss McLean. And that's what you came to talk about. But you know, we this thing about the crime, and what we're talking about right now is
Connected.
connected. It's all connected. And so I'm going to ask Dave to let me just say, before we show this video here, I want to talk about Mr. P.L.O. Lumumba. They call him Prof. And as you know, I went
You've been
to
busy meeting important people.
I went to Kenya. And when I went to Kenya, I didn't go to Kenya to meet Professor Lumumba at all. And you know, a lot of people might not even remember who Professor Lumumba is. And we're going to play some of his videos. And but when I went there, you know, someone said, you know, can you send your bios over? We want to send them to Professor Lumumba. He's in town and he might be able to see you. So I said, Dave said, fine. And Dave got our bios together, all the movies, everything that we've done, you know, and sent it over to him. And right away, you know, we were given a call. I was sleeping the next morning. Dave came and said, Professor Lumumba says he would like to see you all. And that's how the whole thing started. And now, you know, that connection with Professor Lumumba started in Kenya. I didn't even know he was in Kenya. I didn't realize he was from Kenya.
Well,
I
you didn't
just
know he was Kenyan. Okay.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know at all. And thankfully, that he, you know, we're from Little Barbados and he wanted to meet us, you know. So, Dave, can you just play something here from him, please?
In Africa, when you are appointed a minister, even the newspapers will say if you are appointed to the Ministry of Finance, he's been appointed to the lucrative Ministry of Finance. If you are appointed to the Ministry of Agriculture or Mining, they say you've been appointed to the lucrative Ministry of Mining. But when you are appointed to the Minister of Culture, they say you've been appointed to the lean Ministry of Culture. In other words, there is a sense in which institutions in Africa appear to believe that he who gets into public office has a license to be a thief. And if you look at many African countries, many African leaders cannot account for their wealth. They have stripped their countries naked. In Africa,
Marcia, have you?
Okay, sorry, we had a little challenge there. But just to remind people of who Professor Lumumba is, and I want to just to read a little bit of his bio. And we were really thrilled. The first day we were invited to the hotel where we were staying at, along with other people were there. And we, you know, we got to meet him and so on. And he invited us back to his office the next day because he wanted to talk to us more about the work we do in Barbados. He was really fascinated with what we were sharing with him. And we thought that was enough, you know, that was going to be it. And and you know, and then we were told, you know, when do you leave? And we told him when we're leaving. He says, okay, well, come and visit me at my home. I wanted to show you the projects that we're working on in our community. We're talking about community empowerment tonight, okay? And so I'm sorry. And so we went to this home, and beautiful home, and then he says, you know what? You guys want to spend the night? And so we know we have a godfather there in Kenya, and but he is he's a Kenyan lawyer, Miss McLean, an activist. He's a director of the Kenya School of Law, and served as the director of the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission. And he did that for 7 years. Yes, until he was too strict on them. They got rid of him. But and so he wanted to know about Barbados. He wanted to know what about the films. He watched Joseph. He was just really into what we're doing. And one of the things that he does is that he has a foundation. And his foundation is involved in setting up kitchen gardens in every home. And they want to have kitchen gardens in every home in Kenya. And so when we went to his home, this is me here interviewing him. Now, we it's tough to get him on the program at the live. So we did a recording, all right? Because at this hour, it is almost 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, okay? So here is Professor Lumumba and myself, and I'm interviewing him at his home in Kisumu, Kenya. Go right ahead, Dave.
So we're here with P.L.O. Lumumba. And please don't ask me how we got here. It's a long story. But we're going to be talking to him about agriculture and about a particular project, a home-based project that is so near and dear to his heart. The very first time I met him, he was just oozing, talking about this project, and it just connected a lot with what we want to do in the Caribbean. So, sir, thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's the word again? Courage.
Erekomano, which is the Luo means thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great to thank you for your kind hospitality since we've been here. So can you tell us, tell Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean about this particular project that is so dear to your heart?
Thank you very much for finding time to come to the mother continent and to be here on the shores of Namlolue, or as they say in Uganda, Narubare, which the colonizers called Victoria. Mm-hmm. We are going into a renaming of all these names that were given by the colonialists. And one of the things that we are doing now, particularly this year, we are focusing on what I call feeding and seeding Africa. And the whole idea is to ensure that we are able to feed ourselves. When I grew up in this part of the world, every household had a kitchen garden. And we want to reignite and to revive the kitchen garden. We are calling it Operation Kitchen Garden. And we are working with a good friend of mine, Edwina Taylor Flatten, who is Liberian, lives in Norway, is doing projects in Ghana and in La Côte d'Ivoire. And our intention is to ensure that we, number one, preserve our African seeds in whether it's cassava, whether it's maize, whether it's sorghum, whether it's millet, whether it's green grams, because it has been demonstrated times without number that if you can't feed yourself, then you can't be truly liberated. And this is why we want to barnstorm Africa, to persuade people across different countries to begin to embrace traditional seeds and also to have their own kitchen gardens. And we believe that this will address not only the food situation in the household, but
Yes.
also in the continent of Africa. When we talk about African free trade, what are we trading in?
Right.
Do we have our own rice that we are producing? Do we have our own cocoa? Do we have our own sorghum? We don't. And Africa now imports nearly 80% of the food that she consumes. And we are not confining ourselves just to grains. We are also talking about things like chicken. We are talking about things like beef, goat meat, and all these, because we think that entire ecosystem is what we must improve in order to gain total liberation. It pains me to no end when I see us consuming Kentucky fried chicken, which and we consume it in different parts of Africa and in different parts of the world. Yet Africa could be the bread basket of the world. So this project, which is being undertaken by Seeding Africa and the P.L.O. Lumumba Foundation, is designed to improve the food situation in the entire continent of Africa. And we are going to do it.
Yes.
Because it is a bottoms-up method. We are
Yes.
going to households and demonstrating by word and deed that we can do it. We start modestly, and I have no doubt in my mind that it will be something that will change the continent of Africa, household by household, village by village, town by town, and ultimately it will envelop the entire mother continent. And we hope in the diaspora.
Yes,
We
I'm
are
excited
planning
about
to
that.
have a visit to the Caribbean, to Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, Jamaica, Cuba, Bahamas, and hopefully even to Belize,
Yes.
because we hold the view that our kith and kin in the diaspora must now begin to do things in the continent. And I know that that is already happening. There are quite a number of people from Trinidad and Tobago, from Barbados, some of them St. Kitts and Nevis, who already engage in farming in Ghana particularly.
Okay.
And some in La Cote d'Ivoire, some even in the Gambia.
Yes,
And
yes,
that,
yes.
I think, is what we must do in order to save ourselves from what I call culinary slavery.
Yes.
Where our palates are dictated by food that is made by others.
Culinary slavery.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that term.
Yeah.
Culinary slavery.
Yes.
This is awesome. Well, I'm really hoping that this is something that we are going to be able to do in the Caribbean, Barbados, and the rest of the region. Really hoping that when you get there, I think it's May.
In the month of May.
In the month of May, that this is something, because we talk about it a lot in the Caribbean, and we see the need to have our kitchen gardens, but a lot of times people don't know how, or they don't want to start. It's just an idea, but so I'm really hoping that when you get there, there'll be some kind of transfer.
No, there'll be a
knowledge.
seismic movement.
Yes.
There's something in the Luo which we say, chaka chaka katoten. Just start.
Chaka chaka
katoten.
I love
Even
it.
if it is small, in other words, start in a small way.
Yes.
Then it will gradually snowball into something big. When I
Yes.
grew up, we used to have the kitchen garden. You would have a banana plantation there. You would have pumpkins. You would have traditional vegetables, so that you could not really sleep hungry, as it were.
Yes.
Because there was something to fall back on in the event that you didn't have food which was gathered during the day. But that has all died. Our kitchen gardens have become supermarkets. We run to the supermarket and have this food that is processed, and we do not know what we are consuming. And I believe that if we solve the food problem, even the health burden, the burden on health facilities will reduce, because some of these things, you are, as the saying goes, what you eat.
Yes.
So we must, in the nature of things, just move in the direction of feeding ourselves, because the divine instruction is go ye and subdue the world.
Wow.
And subdue it we must.
We must.
And have dominion over it.
And have dominion over it.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I want to say to you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I know that this project is going to do well. And as you said, chaka chaka
Katoten.
Kataten.
Yeah.
Did I say that well?
It's okay, you did.
Yeah, chaka chaka kataten.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to do well, and we're looking forward to your visit to the Caribbean in May. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
sir.
very much. And
Yes,
God
thank
bless
you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That was, and we're not finished yet. We have some more that we're going to show you. His estate, his garden, and some of the work that he's doing. And we're gonna show you a bit of that. Just hold it there. But let's have a discussion about what we have heard. Okay, folks, tonight is a night about doing. Tonight is a night about we're educating ourselves, but it's not just passing of information, but we want to basically be able to use the information that we receive. So I was taking notes as he was speaking, and I saw Miss McLean. Miss McLean, is there anything from what he said tonight that you want to expound on? And for everybody who is watching, is there anything that you can take away from this tonight? Go ahead.
Marcia, well, for anybody who has followed or heard any of P.L.O. Lumumba's speeches, addresses, would know that he is not, while he is an eloquent, erudite speaker, he's not just a
Yes,
talker.
please go on. I'm
He's
coming
a
right back.
Pan-Africanist, I would say Pan-Africanist par excellence. He has done a lot of work across the continent, and happy to see that he's chosen the best month of the year to come to Barbados and the Caribbean, that is May. But I think as I listen, I'm linking what I heard in the discussion this evening with the kind of project that he's undertaking, not only in Kenya, but across the continent. And he's talking about, we use a lot of fancy words. We talk about food sovereignty and food security and food safety. Really and truly, what he is saying is that to start to feed ourselves, to start to feed our communities, to start to feed our countries, and indeed, when you think about Africa, to feed the continent, which has the potential to feed the world, we have to start small. And I would have to get Marcia to repeat the expression that he used to say that, you start small. But I think he's also raised another issue, the whole issue of, and I like the expression, I'd not heard it used before, culinary slavery. And indeed, when we look at us around Barbados, I mean, we have gone from eating a lot of traditional foods. And if you ask the average Barbadian, what do they eat? Macaroni pie, what is that? And if they were to think about it and what it does for their body, really and truly, I think, Marcia, that in listening to him, he reinforces a lot of some things that we would have spoken about on this program, certainly things that I feel strongly about. And I want to link it as an important activity that can be done within the framework of the community development exercises. Wow, look at the lady. And the important exercises that you and Dale would have been speaking about this evening. The whole notion of community garden, because he talked about a kitchen garden at home, but there are a lot of places where that perhaps there are open spaces in some of our housing developments, as Bajans call them, housing areas in some of our neighborhoods, whether it is our working class neighborhoods or otherwise. In fact, I can see activities where communities, take the St. James South area that I live in, if we talk constituency. We have the Crystal Heights, we have the Husband's Gardens, the Husband's Heights, the Husband's Terrace, the Tarps, and the housing area, as we call it. Why can't we find some areas which are bordering these and bring communities together? Yes. So young people from Haynesville coming into Oxnards and whatever else, or vice versa. And you go there and you cultivate some open spaces. People have land that they're not cultivating. People have housing spots that they are not ready to build on, and they may lend it at a small lease or whatever, or put it into a pool that you can actually grow food. And the reality is that we in Barbados, as we know, are plagued with non-communicable diseases, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, and so on. And if that is happening and is very common among our older population, think about the situation of people, of our children who are growing up on fast foods. Marcia, you're making me hungry, and you know I love my fruit and vegetables. But no, and it's important because I look at this and I'm thinking, not only do we look to grow to satisfy, you know, and share in the community, because that's the other thing. If you have it, you can sit down on a lot of crops can grow in 6 weeks, you know, and then you have longer ones. Sit down as a set of neighbors and agree that we're going to plant, let's say 6 crops. You grow this, you grow that, I grow something else. And then we share because we're all contributing to a mix so that when we're finished, we have a good mix of vegetables and fruit. You know, one of the things that upsets me year after year, you drive through neighborhoods and you see mango trees with the fruit on the ground, and the person either would tell, I don't really like mangoes, but why don't they take them and put them on the wall or put them on, you know, put up a notice, because people give away things online. And so I really think that when we look at what is proposed, there are so many benefits, you know, in terms of domestic household benefits, but also some commercial potential, you know, and in terms of, and I will say this and stop. Some years ago, I connected a group of young people, and I wouldn't bother to call the name. I like to get permission from people, but it may not sit well with some of the powers that be if I call the name. But I brought together some young people. I introduced them to a gentleman who has a passion, and this is somebody, Marcia, I can recommend to work with young people without even asking him, because he would tell me, yes, we discuss it all the time. This is a man who has years of farming experience. And these young people were part of an NGO. And I said to one of the founders, you cannot survive, you know, on getting grants and you know, contributions from benefactors, etc. You have to find a way to have an ongoing revenue generating exercise. And I said, farming, because of the nature of the organization, you know, production of crops, you know, vegetables and other crops would make sense. And the gentleman, I said, just follow his instructions. They partnered with him. And I remember Marcia being asked to come when they were getting ready to reap the first, I think the first crop might have been squash, you know, and to see them take pictures of the first little seedlings and watch that grow and so on. It is really a situation, not even, I wouldn't say a project, there are multiple projects that can flow from something like that. Yes. And when he mentioned the whole issue of, I think they call them heirloom seeds, the you know, trying to retain your original seeds and so on, the preservation of African seeds. I was looking for my note. That is something that we have started here, because, you know, part of the problem is that when you go and buy these commercial seeds, I don't know if I'm using the right language, but you can't reproduce them. When you harvest that crop, you can't. Normally, what would happen as a child growing up, you would see somebody reap corn and they would dry some of the corn and store that to plant the next cycle. People have cucumbers and they, you know, and whatever else. And so that is something that there's a lot of power in what they're doing. That's really, and I think there's a lot that we can do that is very similar, and some of the, you know, people have been talking about some of these, but I really think, as you said, the task now is to move it from a conversation to projects on the ground.
Yeah, and I love how you ended there, Ms. McLean, and thank you for sharing those examples of how you have moved it from ideas, from just an idea now into a project. And I've seen you in operation. This is one lady I can tell you that she's inspired me of how, you know, and how to actually do something. You think about it, you talk about it, but let's do it. And one of the things that I did on my way home, this is just one of the seeds that I brought. This is original
Mhm.
African seeds, okay, that I brought here of spinach. But this spinach is so big because in Africa, you know, well, in Kenya, because let me not just say Africa is a continent. In Kenya, I realized that a lot of their produce is just so big. You know, like a banana would look like a regular banana that you eat would look like plantain, you know. And so they have a spinach. It's a giant spinach and it is so delicious. And so I
Mm.
brought some of the seeds and I'm going to do some. I'm going to, Miss McLean, I'm going to share some with you. And if anybody wants to taste, I'm going to try. I'm going to try because I believe in not just talking about, this is another area like the crime that we just talk about, but we don't want to go close to the earth. We don't want to you know, we don't want to connect with the earth. We don't want to do this hard work, and in our mind it's dirty and all of these things, and it's connected to slavery, and we don't want to go back there. But I brought this here. I also brought this here, Miss McLean. This is sorghum, which you told me
Okay.
I didn't know. I didn't know. Thank
Guinea
God.
corn.
It's guinea corn.
Guinea
So
corn,
these
yeah.
are, listen, I got guinea corn seeds. The first set
Wow.
of people want to call me to get some guinea corn seed. You can get some from me. Guinea corn
Please.
seed. I This is original. This is we are they're into you know, preserving the original African seeds. Okay. This is guinea corn. Now the thing about guinea corn is that it's such a healthy food that I mean this is low in the bad sugar, right?
That's
Low
what you use
glycemic index.
in jug.
Yes, it's using jug. It's using jug. And we go to the supermarket and we buy 2 little bags. When you get your own, you grow your own, there is a place here that you can actually mill it, Miss McLean, and so on. So I believe, guys, is one thing I want you to take away from this program with Miss McLean and I. When it comes on to the Marcia Week show, I can tell you we are doers. Okay, we are doers. And so I brought this home. I have another one, but I was able to put my hand on it called Kuma Wiki. That's something that they eat a lot in Kenya, and that's also delicious. But this sorghum, I'm going to use this a lot. You know, I'm gonna because I know that this is better than flour. This is better than a lot of the other grains that we're well, let's say flour. Let's say flour, okay? Because it is the bad carbohydrate. All right, that's the one that breaks down into sugar in the body. All right. So, but this one doesn't break down into sugar based on my understanding. I'm not a health professional, but I'm told that this here. This is what our foreparents used to eat a lot of this. Right, Miss McLean?
That's what I understand. I remember as a child, it used to grow. You know, I remember people would
Really?
have the yellow corn and we used to call it as I said wait, what I said again the
It is a
in
guinea corn.
guinea corn, yes.
Yes.
And I remember used to get that, and you wouldn't see as much of it as you would see the yellow corn, but the guinea corn, and it would be available at Christmas for jug, and you know, because a lot
Yes.
of those things are some of the retentions from our African ancestors. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you'd read stories of women planting seeds into their hair as they move, you know, they were being brought to the Caribbean. And
Yes.
so, you know, there's some very interesting things, but those retentions are, I mean, as I watch you make your ugali, and it
I
reminded
made
me
some
of,
ugali. I have some for you. I have some ugali. Some of it's maize. Okay, so I
yeah,
brought
the
yeah,
mealy they call it, or yeah, the white maize.
you white maize. And so I
Yes.
made some today for dinner. I did my ugali today with some chicken stew. And so I have some maize for you that you can try it as well. It's
I
like
remember as a 20-something-year-old being introduced to that in Zambia, but they call it Nshima, Nsima, Nshima.
Yeah.
They call it that in Malawi as well. It's because the interesting thing is the difference is the color of the corn.
Yeah.
And in our case, we put okra in
Mhm.
our cuckoo, you know.
I want to see what the seed looks like. I've never
Oh, yeah,
seen
it's
it.
going to be very fine.
Very fine.
Yeah,
Oh.
over there, you didn't see it. You don't know. Okay, don't spill it.
And then, yeah, and well, Dave. In the meantime, we do have some more video footage for you that you can get and see that what what P.L.O. Lumumba is doing. So he's not just speaking about it, but he's living it. All right. So where he could have a lawn and whatever, he has transformed his entire yard into a farm. Okay. So go ahead, Dave.
Dave, come this way.
Yeah.
Turn up the volume. Thank you.
Is actually so it can be improved.
Mhm.
You can see that one is green. Green,
Right.
Really,
So
right.
this is your traditional
Yeah, this
mango.
is the traditional mango.
Mango. And what's the name?
We don't have a name for it. Maybe it has a scientific name, but you can see it. No, that is.
They grow a lot of mangoes and they export it as well. So he's showing me one of his mango trees. He's showing me this. So we're looking at the mangoes, how similar it is. No volume, Dave. I'm not sure why. What's happening there? Yeah, we can hear. Okay, so he's sorting that out. Somebody said yes, we know that there's sorghum in Barbados growing already. Yes. Go ahead.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
they're not GMO.
They are GMO.
Right.
Oh.
They are GMO.
Yeah.
But you see this one, I eat it and throw it, and
Yes.
It springs.
then
The springs, right.
Yeah.
And you have a
Like-
lot of
That's
lemons.
like what you were saying, Miss McKean, with the seeds.
Wow. How many years it took you to grow all of these?
These are now regenerated.
Mm-hmm.
So they cut them down, so they are regenerating. Give them
Those are lemon trees, lemon and orange.
But they have flowered several times.
Mm-hmm.
So they were dying at a certain time. Then my uncle that he saw, he used to work in farms in Kerika.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the one who has revived this orchard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, because we have a little tree there at home, and it's
Interesting.
not doing too well. It's about 3 years old.
Yeah.
So I need to find out what he did.
Yeah. There are things that they do. You know, this thing.
So this is all of his estate. And so you have a lot on the left. There's just a lot of fruit trees. We're not showing all of a lot of fruit trees, lemon, oranges, and mangoes. And they grow a lot of mangoes. He said that he was trying to export some of his as
Right.
well, but he doesn't have enough as yet. But he's trying to export.
Remains green.
Oh,
But you know, Marcia, as I look at that, because you realize that the mangoes are in season because their seasons are reversed.
It's sour.
And there is a businessman who exports sliced mango. You go into a supermarket in London and you would see, you know, the little containers with sliced mango.
Mhm.
He operates year round because he gets in the summer, our summer, in the early part of the year, he gets his fruit from West Africa.
Yeah.
And in the latter part of
That's
the
what
year,
he
he gets
does,
from
yeah.
East and Southern Africa.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about our situation here, imagine somebody who is reaping mangoes in Kenya, getting them peeled and sliced and packaged and in a supermarket in London as fresh fruit. Why are we not seeing sliced
Right.
mango in the
Right.
restaurants,
Yeah, so that
on
you
the
don't
breakfast
have to go
menus of our restaurants, and
Right.
whether they're standalone restaurants serving breakfast or restaurants in our hotels?
Yeah.
and survive.
You know, so these are the things that we can
So this
talk
is-
about. You know, there may be certain varieties that you would use that which lend themselves to slicing and so on. But a chef would tell you that he or she would not want to spend time trying to peel a mango or steer a box of mangoes to serve. Yes, but I am sure with that they can be supplied
when we were
by young people, because we're talking youth again. I'm linking it with
Okay,
earlier.
same thing in Barbados.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? One second.
Hated the idea of just buying vegetables.
that I'm buying things and I'm at home and I'm buying food to eat.
Yes.
Okay, so he's saying there that he has stopped buying vegetables, period, from the market, from the supermarket. He grows it all.
Really into it a couple years ago.
Yeah, so hiring farms around here.
So you'll probably see he has his vegetable plots as well, along with his orchard.
Yeah, we
and-
were seeing that earlier, that he has, he grows, he doesn't buy vegetables.
Oh.
He grows everything, all the vegetables.
banana.
So this is the special type here.
This is a part of he's part of the world. They receive more rain. Yes.
Yeah.
This is bananas.
This, yeah.
Yes.
They're
Oh,
not doing too badly. No, they're doing well.
Yes, they look good.
They really
Yes, we
need
have
well.
some bananas at home.
Some spacing around.
see the sticks, Marcia?
Huh?
The sticks holding up.
Right,
Popping up.
because when ours right, so you use a stick to hold it.
This one we cook. Yeah. Some of them actually this one for
That's to make sure that when the weight of the banana, the bunch doesn't bring down the tree. You
Yeah,
see?
somebody's asking if he has, listen, this man has so much land, okay? And this is the norm in Africa, okay? Just understand. This is the norm. Land.
They don't do well.
Ah, look, Marcia, look.
The plant my
So what's up?
Yeah.
Nania, blackjack.
Oh, he didn't know
What?
what tree this was. He didn't know about soursop.
What is it?
Oh,
He has one, and
Why
it's
didn't
got our
know?
fruit.
It's not blackjack.
So you explain to him how you eat it and how important it is.
I don't know what
Okay. Actually, my
Yeah,
brother
yeah,
planted
use it a lot.
three in my yard, but one died.
For
So I
drink.
have two young ones coming up nicely.
right, where they're telling him that we make it as a drink. Yeah, go ahead, Dave. Yeah, we're telling you we make it.
First of all, they said it, well, we use it for cancer.
Hey,
I drink a cup of this every night.
hey.
They say, yes.
Read upon it. And then this, we use it, the soursop as a drink. In Jamaica, we put it with milk, condensed milk, or with any milk.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, and you pulp it, and get out the seeds. And it's a nice drink. Yeah, they even some people put alcohol in it, and then the dragon stuff.
This is our tradition.
This is
the
okay.
tradition is smaller.
Right,
It's a smaller variety.
right. So
And even when it ripens, it
Yeah, we have this in Jamaica.
it's just this side.
Yeah.
Kathy's tree.
right, that's what I'm wondering if
Yeah.
you have it. What do you call
the
it?
Kathy, I don't know what you
Is
call
it
it.
mangalone?
I don't know what to call it. Ask Kathy.
Okay.
It looks like a mangalone, Marcia.
I remember.
And by the way, I have a note here saying I want some of those spinach seeds, my brother.
Yes. Okay, no problem. We're gonna sort you out.
But that's a different one there.
That is a different variety.
Right.
Different varieties of mangoes. This is all on his property.
We produce a lot of mangoes in.
If we could have many farmers,
Yes.
then it would make sense to have a small factory.
Mhm.
Because this really, if we say we had 2,000 trees,
Yes.
and which then flower at different times, then we could aggregate and produce pulp and produce our own dish.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that gentleman of Pick and Peel,
Mhm.
I asked him if he could come, but he says, but you have no mangoes. If I come, would I even fill a whole lorry?
Right. You
wouldn't.
need much
So
more.
it would not make economic sense for him.
Right. He's trying to get his mangoes manufactured, so busy, but with all these trees, it still needs more trees.
Okay. So you would need a lot more trees.
We would need a lot more. And people will say then, but we have no land. I say, yes, do your.
Now, Marcia, I'm looking, somebody mentioned the land, eh?
Yeah.
She's a
And
wish.
I'm looking, when I went to Zambia in my 20s, they had a very small population. Right now, the estimated population per square mile in Zambia is 76 people per square mile.
Then
In
Wow.
Barbados, in Barbados, it is times and times that. And therefore, that is where you can see those, persons having land, large tracts of land.
Right.
So
But
I've told her.
Yeah, it is real land.
Using stone.
There's a color mango. I don't know if we see it yet, Dave, but that's coming up. I've never seen that before, but I hope we get to see it.
Using it for purposes of a lease. And it also because they
Ah,
local
look at this.
here called Janga.
that purpley color one.
Yeah.
So they don't want her to do it.
Yeah, they don't.
Wow, look at this. We don't have this.
Look at that. Very,
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Purple mangoes.
And they're not ripe yet, you know.
It's so pretty. Oh
Don't
my
give it.
gosh.
You don't want to eat chicken.
What do you call this? Sir?
This one,
Uh-huh.
I don't know the name for this maembe.
Beautiful.
I don't know, but it's very beautiful.
Maybe they need to be labeled.
I think
their
they
names,
need label.
Oh, turpentine. Oh, that's what turpentine.
How long ago
Turpentine, but you've heard the expression turpentine mangoes in Barbados?
Yeah.
Barbados, yes.
I never knew what it was.
Takes time, Dave. Wow.
Next time.
Yeah.
So this one we are cutting.
And
down.
the land is not finished yet, you know.
We want to
It's
build-
land upon land.
Okay. So this is the land she's gonna use.
the ones.
Oh,
So
beyond. Okay.
You're gonna clear it.
Yeah, we're
Gonna
going
clear
to
there.
it. And because it's just lying idle,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't have the capacity.
Right.
So I told her, you do your math.
Yes, Bajan cherries, free varieties of Bajan cherries. These one Surinamese cherry. Well, this is no. I thought that was him saying so.
No.
Oh, I thought that was from him. Okay, that's
Some
part of
benefit-
it. Mhm.
benefit will come, yeah.
Oh, but it's okay.
And she can expand it.
How are you? Wakie. Uchie una class adi? Eh. Oh, nine unjo CBC. Oh.
Some children peeping
School man
through.
iso mukanye. Oh. Ero kamano.
Erica Mano. Wow. Well, this is a lot of work. So we're here with
Yeah. So that's a part. I mean, a part of it. I don't know if Dave could quickly go. 2 minutes. I can't. We'll do it another tomorrow night. Look at some of the animals that he has and so on. Right. But I wanted to show us just how everybody has a kitchen garden basically. But what they want is so for them to preserve the seeds. Operation Kitchen Garden preserve the African seeds, which is so important. Any final words, Miss McLean, before we go?
I think as I listened to him, I also saw the application to Barbados within the context of our children, especially trying to build community. But I also saw something else. Somebody commented on the size of the land, and so I went quickly and Googled the population density. In Kenya, it's 257 people per square mile. In Barbados, it's 1,702. Now, he also made another point that 80% of the food approximately is imported across the continent. And with that land mass, there is scope for investment in farming for value-added purposes. And the last point I would make in relation to that is while we seek to push agriculture in Barbados as we should, there's also scope for us to leverage the strength of the Barbados dollar. I don't have time to do it now, but another time I would look at the relationship of our currency to other currencies. And I believe that, well, I'm a Pan-Africanist at heart, and my grandfather, whom I never physically met, he was a Pan-Africanist. And inspired me to look at the things like investment, because he invested in the Black Star Liner. The time has come for us to do that again.
Yes.
And we can talk about that some more in a very serious way.
Yes, I think we will continue with some of this tomorrow because It's, it's a lot that we were shown by PLO Lumumba, and we promised him that we would share those videos with everybody to get us into the whole feeling of farming and feeling that it's possible. Taking charge of our own food. If you can't feed yourself, you can't be liberated. And this is so important. He talked about culinary slavery, where our taste buds really are trained by our colonizers. They feed us. It's culinary slavery. They feed us, and everything that we eat what they eat. So we
And it's
wanna
not necessarily good for us.
not necessarily good for us, because when I realized that, what, we've been eating that flour, our ancestors, really, this is what they were on. But now we're struggling with diabetes and all kinds of things. But there's a low glycemic level in this with the sorghum, with the guinea corn, and so this is something that we really should be using. We eat it once a year, jug once a year, but we can make jug throughout the year. We can make it like how we make the cuckoo. We can put it in
Yeah.
breads. We can do all kinds of different things with it. So,
You
it's
can
been
make a porridge. You can make porridge with it just as we do
ah,
cornmeal.
yes,
In fact,
yes,
the word pap, Marcia, we say cornmeal pap, but pap is a word that is heard across West Africa, East Africa, South Africa. So that means it came across the Atlantic. It
yes,
didn't go back, it
definitely.
came this way.
Actually, on Sunday, speaking about that, we have the porridge project, which is going to be the sorghum that the
Yes.
children are going to eat in their porridge in Kenya. So there's a school that we're going to help them to get their porridge. All right, sorghum in the mornings. And we're working with Dr. Nathan for that, and we're, they're figuring out the children that need, etc. And Miss McLean, it's only a few cents per day to feed a child, the porridge. And we are working that out. We have a special meeting on Sunday morning via Zoom at 1 o'clock for that project. And that is going to be and going to they're going to get it going. And the children, actually, what they're working on, one of the ideas they have is that the children would grow the sorghum at the school,
Nice.
and then we would just pay for seeds, and
Help
and
them to
the
keep
money to
that, get
prepare,
it
and to,
started and so
yes, to
on.
get it started, so that we get paid for the sugar and all of
And
that. So what we're going to tell you more about the porridge project for our school there in Maturu, Kenya. But that's the thing about us. We can't see it and unsee it. We're here in the universe, and we're going to make it different. As what he said, mad, make something different. Something he said, make a difference.
make a
Okay.
difference. Marcia, I want you to look at a porridge project here. When I was a little girl, right?
Yes.
And I suppose this was some people say that the poor people think. You know what? Some of us went to school with a nice belly full of good set of porridge with some bakes, right? No,
Yes.
we can do things with we can do with cassava, we can do with pumpkin, whatever. You know how many people take their children to supermarket delis to buy their breakfast, some sausage or some processed something or hot dog and a soft drink and all kind of nonsense because they don't have time to prepare breakfast, when in fact you can make a pot of porridge, put it in your fridge and heat
Mm-hmm.
it enough. Just put it on. It's not even in a microwave. I don't own a microwave. I had one and it didn't work, and I put it in a saucepan, heat it, give that child, that boy or girl goes to school with a solid stomach, full instead of some junky thing that is not good for them. So we can have one here too,
Of
in
course,
terms
most
of
definitely.
encouraging.
We
And
could.
if you want to get fancy, you put some grated coconut in mine, and I am
Yeah.
happy.
Listen, folks. This is life here. This is good stuff. This is good food. This is good, good, good food. All right. Thank you all so much. Somebody said, true. We need to listen. We need to call our kitchen garden something with Carmita Fraser or something. We're going to talk about that, Miss McLean. Listen, this is
Carmita's kitchen is something. You'll come up with
something.
something.
Listen to me. This year is project. This year is doing. This year is doing. This year is doing. This year is doing. This year is we taking back our country. This is a righteous revolution, and we're not lazy. We're not lazy. Porridge project. We're going into the communities. We're taking it back. We're dealing with crime and violence. We're dealing with drug abuse among our children. We are taking it back because this is a righteous revolution. God bless you all. Thank you, Miss McLean. It's a pleasure having you, and thank you for holding the fort down along with Mr. Glenn Murray, who will be on Sunday. I can't wait to see him. And of course, our fiery preacher, Dr. Ferdinand Nichols, and Takimar Stewart, who comes on as a guest even while I was away, Rose Corbin, everybody, our entire team, Shaquani Hunt, and Janine Butcher. I hope I'm not leaving off anybody so nobody gets upset. But thank you so much. I really
Happy to
enjoyed
have
the
you
show.
back. Happy to have you back, looking rested and
Thank
blessed
you.
by the ancestors. I told you that you went to the cradle of civilization. And you
Yes.
see those rocks? As I told you, you were on sacred ground.
Yes, ma'am. I believe it because I feel so energized. I feel like I'm walking in my calling. I feel a mantle. I feel I'm ready. I'm ready. I believe this we can do this. We can do it. We are in a righteous revolution and we can get it done. Okay?
One last word. There's a reason why my trip to Kenya last year did
Yes.
not materialize after they had that strike. It was not the right time. I say
Yes.
no more.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for all the pictures and the videos. Dale, an amazing. Oh, I must apologize for Dawn Marie because we advertised her, but she wasn't able to come because they're the Young Democrats. They have their presentation tomorrow, and so they're doing a plenary session preparing, and I'm hoping everybody goes out to see it. We want to show a little bit of it on the program because we want to encourage young people. But it's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock tomorrow. Go out and support the Young Democrats. Okay. Remember, you want to get involved. You get involved this year. We're not. We're not going to be on here. This is not brass tacks. We get involved on here. Okay. So call me. You want to help the kids? Call me. Find a project. Get involved in something. Righteous revolution. Love you all. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.